from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Good morning. It's 5:10. I'm Manda Factor. Well, gas prices have been stable the last 2 days, but not before going up and hitting a major milestone. KIRO 7 TV's Lindsay Sheldon explains.
State average is still $5.30 a gallon. We've been tracking this all week. Prices are almost $1 more than last month. Meanwhile, today sets another new record in the state of Washington for most expensive diesel prices. Yeah, the average for a gallon of diesel is now up to $6.55 as of this morning.
Those prices for diesel especially are expected to create ripple effects through the economy and drive up prices for food and any consumer goods that need to be shipped, which is just about everything. The record high for a gallon of regular is $5.55, set back in 2022 during the start of the Russia-Ukraine war. A 26-year-old man is accused of trying to push a stranger in front of an oncoming light rail train at the Northgate station. Alicio Melendez is charged with attempted second-degree murder. Charging documents claim he waited until a train was pulling in last week, then shoved the victim twice from behind. The man regained his balance and avoided falling onto the tracks. Melendez was later arrested at a nearby treatment facility. Prosecutors want bail set at $750,000. He's due back in court on Tuesday. A woman died in a fire at a Seattle home yesterday, as we hear from KIRO 7 TV's Eric Thomas.
Crews called to a home on 20th Avenue near Cherry Street around 6 o'clock. An 87-year-old woman pulled from the home despite efforts to save her life. She was pronounced dead at the scene. Investigators working to figure out the cause of that fire.
The Seattle City Attorney's Office is seeking a new trial after a jury found the city negligent in January for the 2020 fatal shooting of a 16-year-old in the so-called CHOP zone.
A Seattle jury awarded Antonio Mays Sr. more than $30 million in January. The jury found the city's delayed response contributed to Antonio Mays Jr.'s death. The Seattle Times reports the city argues the verdict was flawed, saying Mays likely would not have survived regardless of the response time. Mays family attorney Evan Ocean.
The attitude that the city has taken on this is just morally unforgivable.
The city argues the jury's $30 million verdict was excessive. James Lynch, KIRO Newsradio.
It's 5:12. Well, the Mariners didn't get the win for the season opener, but they did get a stellar performance from the team's newest addition. Third baseman Brendan Donovan displayed exactly why the M's were so excited to sign him on the first at-bat of the game.
He's the leadoff hitter for your ball club. The windup and the pitch on the way to Donovan. Swinging a well-hit ball deep to right field. Stay fair, stay fair. It is gone. Goodbye, baseball. Welcome to Seattle. Brendan Donovan.
Made a little history with that, hitting a leadoff home run in the season opener for the first time in Mariners history. They ended up falling to Cleveland by a score of 6-4 last night. Chance to even up the series tonight. First pitch 6:45. You can catch all the action on our sister station 710 Seattle Sports. Well, starting tomorrow, you have a new option to cross the I-90 floating bridge. Chris Sullivan got a sneak peek yesterday riding aboard Sound Transit's Cross Lake connection between Bellevue and Seattle.
Sure, it's 6 years behind schedule, and that is certainly in part of this story, but it's a great day to know that now we have a regional transit system, something that actually goes somewhere. Sure, getting to Linwood and Federal Way is great, but now getting across the lake ties in the east side and so many more potential people to be able to use this.
This new line arrives nearly 20 years after voters first approved that project. Sully with me now. What a day it was. What a beautiful ride, right?
That's about as best a day you could be to go across the lake to see how beautiful it is. Coming up in about an hour, I'm going to go over the whole trip, get a bunch of video for our YouTube live feed. You can see some of that at mynorthwest.com right now. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I was a little nervous. I'm not when I went from the terra firma down onto the floating bridge. It's like, ah! But no, it's and later after the show, and if we could talk about this too, the changes for Mariners fans. And users for the first time ever, you're going to have to pay attention to what it says on the front of the train. Or you might end up going to the wrong location.
That would be a problem. Look forward to hearing more about your ride. What's happening on the roads right now?
Right now, it's nice and easy, other than the motorcyclist that almost ran into me going like 100 miles an hour this morning, who I did not see as I was changing lanes. Yeah, come on. That was scary. But yeah, the roads are good. It's dry and it's light. 35 minutes from Federal Way to Seattle, 35 Renton to Bellevue, Puyallup to Renton. Renton to Bellevue is only 15. Across the lake, no problems, 35 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. Olympia to Tacoma is no problem. KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
And our forecast, it's going to be another lovely day. Partly sunny, 56 for your Friday. Tomorrow, we're going to see a few more clouds roll in, 55, and we are looking for some showers still on Sunday, but not until late in the afternoon. Right now in Seattle, we have partly cloudy skies. It's 40 degrees. And coming up, CBS Tech contributor Ian Scher will break down the recent lawsuit against tech giants Meta and YouTube surrounding how addictive they are to children. This is Seattle's Morning News.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio App. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio Northwest News. Chokepoints with Chris Sullivan.
With Chokepoints, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Chokepoints, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
Jackson Hewitt will do your taxes for $149 or less, no matter how complicated. So if you're a delivery driver, /handyman, /wedding DJ, you pay only $149 or less. We're talking to you, waitress.
Check, please.
/pet sitter, /influencer. Just $149 or less. Want your refund to work as hard as you? Hurry. Don't wait. File with Jackson Hewitt today. Limited time offer for new clients on federal returns. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
What in the world is going on?
You didn't hear? You can get iPhone 16e at Cricket Wireless for $0 when you switch.
iPhone 16e for $0?
No way. Yeah, and it has Apple Intelligence so you can clean up your photos.
Clean up your photos! Okay, but what's the hurry? The offer ends soon!
What they said.
Switch to Cricket and get iPhone 16e for $0 with no activation fee. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Requires new line and port in on the $60 Supreme Unlimited plan. First month service charge and tax to its sale. Terms and restrictions apply. See store for details.
The sun is shining. It's a beautiful day for baseball.
At T-Mobile Park, you've always got the best seat in the house. Case in point, your ticket might be for the view level, but it's more like Skyline City. Up here, it's hard to say what'll take your breath away first. The gorgeous Seattle sunsets or the spectacular views of every incredible play. If you like value with the view, it's the perfect place to take quality time with the family to a whole new level. Literally.
A bases clearing, 3-run double. Everybody on their feet here at T-Mobile Park.
Mariners baseball. Trident's up.
Don't miss the Mariners opening homestand, featuring tonight's AL West Champs replica banner night at 6:45, thanks to T-Mobile. Tomorrow's Cal Raleigh 60 home run bobblehead night at 6:40, presented by Alaska Airlines, and a showdown against Aaron Judge and the Yankees Monday through Wednesday. Get tickets at mariners.com.
High five. Up top.
Dave's company just got the 5-year price lock guarantee from Comcast Business. Yeah! It's 5 years of gig speed internet, advanced security, and a great rate that won't change. All from the company with 99.9% network reliability.
Heck yeah!
He hasn't given this many high fives since Deborah brought in her famous banana bread.
Yes!
The Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee. Powering 5 years of savings, powering possibilities.
And it's hurting, but I am not stopping.
Woo! For a limited time, now through March 29th, switch to Comcast Business to lock in your rate for 5 years and get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Or ask how to get started with 150 megabit internet and Security Edge for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Don't wait. Call today. Restrictions apply. New customers only. 1-year contract required for guaranteed rate. Paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account required. 5-year pricing applies to monthly service charge excluding taxes and fees.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
A landmark lawsuit taking place in California this week as a jury has found social media giants Meta and YouTube liable for having platforms that are both addictive and detrimental to young people.
This is a case that could end up having some huge implications for the future of social media. Let's get the details from CBS Tech contributor Ian Scher. Good morning, Ian. Tell us about this lawsuit.
Yeah, at the heart of it was this idea that these companies, Meta and YouTube, but also Snap and TikTok, had created apps that were designed to really hook us. And that specifically the way they fed content to us, video, posts, whatever, was designed to really kind of hit those endorphins in our brains and and really addict us to their platforms. As this lawsuit went forward, we saw Snap and TikTok actually settle out of court. And at the time, I think a lot of people thought, oh, they don't want to be embarrassed in court. A lot of times, executives on the stand say something that ends up causing trouble, or emails come out. But now here we are. The jury has actually found that these companies, Meta and YouTube in particular, are actually liable for the harm that their apps cause and the addiction that their algorithms kind of incite in young people.
Ian, what were the claims based on?
So this all kind of comes from a young person whose name was not shared publicly, who basically said that they had become addicted to these apps at a young age, and that it had had a severe impact on their mental health and their growing up. And it's not the first lawsuit we've seen about this. We've seen many different lawsuits kind of making a similar type of claim, but this was one of the first to really go to trial. And now with the jury decision, it's also worth noting just a day before that, New Mexico, the state had actually sued Meta, claiming that company also does not protect young people from predators when they sign up with an account. And a jury found in favor of New Mexico as well. So these are back-to-back really bad indicators from the legal world that Meta and YouTube and the tech industry at large really needs to take responsibility for these impacts that we're seeing.
So what are the plaintiffs here trying to get accomplished by winning this lawsuit?
Well, obviously, some of it is about money, and there's definitely an element of that. But also, I think that just like when we started learning back in the 90s about the cover-ups the tobacco industry did after, mountains of research showed that they were killing people and hurting people, and tried to avoid taking responsibility for that. Or even 10 years ago when we learned that there was research from the oil industry about global warming, that ultimately it's about these companies taking responsibility for what they do. And I think that what we may end up seeing, aside from new laws and new regulations and new efforts to kind of rein in the industry, is that these companies now are going to have to sit there while they're building their apps and thinking to themselves, gosh, could what I'm building actually harm people? Which is not really, from what we've learned over the years, something that always happens when they're building these things.
Talking with CBS Tech contributor Ian Scher. Ian, you mentioned this is not the first lawsuit against these companies. Why did this one get so much attention?
Yeah, there's a lot of reasons, right? It's the actual judge accepting the lawsuit. It's the kind of the way the argument was made. And we see this in a lot of different places where, there's different attempts at lawsuits over various things, and lawyers make various different arguments. And eventually a judge says, you know what, I think this argument carries enough weight that we should put it before a jury. And, generally speaking, I think a lot of people expected that this wasn't going to go very far, in part because the tech industry has not been held accountable for the harms that their products cause. And we don't think of, news algorithms or the news feed or TikTok's video algorithm as something that is harmful. But clearly this jury has said to us, we need to rethink the way we look at these things and consider it in a similar vein as something that does physical harm.
Ian Scher, CBS News tech contributor. Always great having you on the show, Ian. Thanks for your time this morning.
Our forecast as you get ready for the weekend. It's going to be another nice day. Partly sunny, 56 today. Overnight low 41. And then tomorrow we'll see a few more clouds move in, but still peaks of sunshine and 55. We are still looking for a few light showers by Sunday, but not until the afternoon hours. 51 on Sunday. Right now, partly cloudy, 40, and foggy in some areas this morning. Coming up, KIRO News Radio's Paul Holden has your weekend planner here on Seattle's Morning News.
New year, new you. Have you thought about how your finances might change in 2026? Free checking from WaFd Bank is the way to go. With no minimum balances or monthly maintenance fees to worry about, you get spending tools and the latest technology to help you stay on your budget. Not only is WaFd Bank a best bank, you'll also get useful tools like voice-activated banking, so you can check your balances and make transfers between your accounts when your hands are full. Visit wafdbank.com to open your account. Non-sufficient funds charges may apply. Member FDIC.
Xfinity Tech Support, Matthew speaking.
Hi, I live in a pretty remote place, like Jurassic Park remote. Oh!
Wow.
Will Xfinity Mobile work out here?
Yep, the combination of reliable Wi-Fi and 5G makes it so that you can stay connected in all kinds of places. Plus, you get access to ultra-fast speeds and coverage, whether you're poolside or out live streaming with a T-Rex.
Hold still, you're about to go viral.
Welcome to a new era of Wi-Fi boosted mobile. Cut your mobile bill in half with 2 lines of unlimited. Learn more at xfinitymobile.com. Xfinity, imagine that. Watch Jurassic Park with Xfinity. Restrictions apply. Xfinity Internet required. Savings comparison based on promotional rate for 2 lines of Xfinity Mobile Unlimited versus 2 lines of T-Mobile Experience More, Verizon Unlimited Plus, and AT&T Starter as of February 10th, 2026. Taxes, fees, extra.
If you're worried your friend may be struggling, remember, you don't have to be there to be there.
You could say, how are you, or get a fake tattoo. You could ask with an app if it works for you. You could chat on the game, kick off your flip-flops. You could ask on your couch while you binge watch. Whatever gets you talking.
Reach out to a friend about their mental health. Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, and the Jed Foundation.
Febreze. New Febreze Air Mist has 50% more odor fighters and up to 30% more fragrance than the old formula. So now you can take on 100% more stinky odors, like sweaty gym bags, greasy cooking smells, and the after effects of the dog rolling around in something. Just spray, and new Febreze Air instantly restores just clean freshness. Smell you later, odor. Breathe happy, Febreze. La, 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 la.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids. Rolaids' dual-active formula has calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. Yeah, you heard right. 2 actives for that powerful relief. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolade spells powerful relief. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
You know, retirement is supposed to be a time of rest and relaxation. But every week I get calls from seniors who are stressed out because their cost of living keeps going up. They love their home and they want to stay in it, but they're struggling with rising property taxes, monthly bills, and monthly mortgage payments if they have one. Hi, I'm Steve Teitler, owner of Best Mortgage, a local family-owned company. I specialize in the reverse mortgage, which allows seniors to tap into your home equity for tax-free cash to pay off your mortgage, pay off debts, and maybe put some extra money in the bank. A reverse mortgage is a great option for some people, but it's not right for everyone. So give me a call and you'll talk directly to me in person or over the phone for honest advice you can trust. Search for Best Mortgage on the web or call us at 425-649-6000. You'll talk to me, not an AI robot. Best Mortgage, 425-649-6000.
Some kids never smile. They're embarrassed by their crooked teeth. They want braces like the other kids, but their families can't afford them. Some may even try to straighten their teeth themselves. That can make everything worse. Luckily, there's Donated Orthodontic Services, a program from the American Association of Orthodontists. It helps provide orthodontic treatment to kids and teens whose families can't afford it. For kids who apply, are approved, and are matched with a volunteer orthodontist, it can be life-changing. Their treatment is in the hands of an expert, a licensed local orthodontic specialist who improves their smiles by correctly aligning teeth and jaws. Some kids think they'll never smile again, but Donated Orthodontic Services may help them smile with confidence. to link to the application and eligibility requirements. Visit aaoinfo.org.
Every day, students stay after school for sports, clubs, and tutoring, many on empty stomachs. Safeway and Champions of Change offer grants for after-school meal programs. Schools apply by April 1st at championsofchangefoundation.org and click Nourishing Champions.
From posters and presentations to labels and loyalty cards, Staples has all the print to boost your brand. Shop now in store and online. Staples, that was easy.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning. It's 5:30. I'm Manda Factor. Sources say the U.S. is preparing to deploy at least 1,000 troops from the 82nd Airborne Division to the Middle East. They're considered the Army's emergency response force. Washington Congresswoman Democrat Pramila Jayapal has opposed the war.
We are plunging our people, our troops, into another forever war.
Military leaders also recently said thousands of Marines aboard several Navy ships will be headed to the region. Meanwhile, the U.S. has extended a pause on missile fire against Iran's energy infrastructure as those talks continue. The Iran war continues to affect the price at the pump. Washington hit a record $6.55 a gallon for diesel. KIRO 7 TV's Lindsay Sheldon says this milestone is making waves throughout the economy.
And because diesel is used in shipping, the price of everything is going to go up. Grocery store owners tell us they're seeing it now.
For the first time in 25 years, we've actually shrunk down our staff. 150 plus price increases a week.
And you know that grocery stores often try to swallow some of those prices, but sometimes they have to pass them along to customers, right? Well, once the conflict ends, economists say it can take as long as 3 months for prices to come back down.
According to AAA, the average price for a gallon of unleaded in Washington is now $5.30, holding steady the last 2 days. It's averaging $5.59 in King County. Pierce County deputies arrested a man in Parkland for an alleged drive-by shooting on members of his own family with his 1-year-old child in the car. Family members say the 29-year-old suspect was under the influence of meth and had made death threats before the shooting. No one was hurt, and police tracked the man back to his home, where Deputy Carly Capetto says
there were multiple points where he was holding his child and using them as a shield to prevent the deputies from arresting him or using any force against him.
The man eventually released the child to a family member and was arrested. The man who hurt Thurston County Sheriff Derek Sanders in a crash nearly 3 years ago is headed to jail. The Olympian reports a judge sentenced 32-year-old Zachary Roberge of Yelm to 3 months behind bars. A jury convicted Roberge last month of vehicular assault while under the influence of drugs. The crash happened in April of 2023 when Roberge pulled his truck in front of the sheriff on a road in Thurston County. Sanders was pulled from his vehicle, airlifted to Harborview. He did recover and return to duty. Opening day hype was buzzing all over Seattle and continued right up to the first pitch at T-Mobile Park. The Mariners unveiled their 2025 American League West Champions banner in a special pregame ceremony. 2025, the deepest playoff run in franchise history. The first time in years the team actually made the postseason. They won the West in 95, 97, and 2001. They lost to the Guardians last night. Another chance tonight. Your defending Super Bowl champion Seahawks will kick off the NFL season at home Wednesday, September 9th. Their opponent has not yet been named. This year's game moves to Wednesday because the Rams and 49ers are headed to Australia for a matchup on Thursday. It's 5:33. Time to check this Friday drive on your early Friday morning. Chris Sullivan, how's it going?
Well, we do have a crash to tell you about. It happened a couple hours ago on northbound I-5, right around the Stillicum-DuPont Road. Not a huge impact around this right now because the volumes are light, but it looks like they still have the HOV lane blocked there, or the left lane at that point for this crash. There's a big wide open area on the left-hand side of the road, but that's where they're extending the HOV lane in the project over the next couple of months, so they're able to kind of move a lot of this over to the the left shoulder, but there is a little bit of backup behind it. So if you're coming out of Olympia, just watch for some slowing coming up the hill and then getting basically to the Stillicum-DuPont Road. Once you're through that, it's a pretty good drive the rest of the way. Only 38 minutes from Olympia to Tacoma. And then Federal Way to Seattle's quiet, 35. Puyallup to Renton, 35 minutes as well. A little slowing at the north end tying into 405. Once you get to the freeway at 405, it's going to be about a 15-minute trip to Bellevue, and nothing so far out of the north end. We've got 35 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
It's going to be a beautiful Friday. We'll see partly sunny skies, 56 for the high today. Tomorrow, a few more clouds will roll in, but still nice and dry and 55. The showers will hold off, it looks like, until Sunday afternoon, 51 on Sunday. Right now in Seattle, partly cloudy skies, some fog in areas. It's 40.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio App. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio Northwest News. Reliable, refreshing, and ready every morning. Seattle's morning news.
As mentioned, it's going to be a decent weekend weather-wise. If you're looking for something to do, KIRO News Radio's Paul Holden has you covered.
It's Friday then, it's Saturday, Sunday, what? It's Friday then, it's Saturday, Sunday, what?
We've made it not only to spring, but to the opening weekend of Major League Baseball. The Mariners are in town throughout the weekend, but that's not the only thing going on. In Issaquah, get outside and enjoy the longer days at Spring Into Adventure. This outdoor festival has a variety of vendors, all with the goal of helping you get outside. Plus a scavenger hunt, an immersive art installation made from recycled materials, plus a couple of yoga and forest therapy classes. Spring Into Adventure is Saturday from 10 to 1 at Sunset Beach in Lake Sammamish State Park. Take a trip through memory lane at the Washington State Fair and Event Center this weekend during Rewind Washington. Rewind Washington is a weekend full of nostalgia, including the people and voices behind your favorite TV shows, movies, cartoons, music, and more. Plus, legendary athletes will be in attendance, including Edgar Martinez and Jay Buhner. We'll be signing autographs and lots more. If you were a child of the 80s and 90s, this is the event for you. Get tickets and details at rewindwa.com. Put on your best pair of boots and bust out your 10-gallon hat for the Emerald City Hoedown. This is the 17th year of the weekend-long country dance party. This is a weekend full of dance workshops, group dances, line dances, and much more. Over 40 hours of dancing at the Renaissance Seattle Hotel throughout the weekend. Another Holly Festival is taking place this weekend, this time at the Seattle Center on Saturday afternoon. The Seattle Color Festival will have food trucks, a DJ, and plenty of colored powder to buy and throw. Remember, make sure you wear clothes that you don't mind getting dirty. The Seattle Color Festival is free to attend and runs from 11 to 4 on Saturday at the Seattle Center. On Capitol Hill at the Polish Cultural Center, you'll find the Polish Spring Bazaar. There will be tons of tasty treats to try and plenty of vendors to shop at, selling Polish crafts, art, and more. This Saturday event is free and runs from 12 to 5. The Mariners' opening homestand goes through the weekend as the M's take on the Guardians throughout the weekend before welcoming the New York Yankees to town early next week. Tickets are still available for these games, so check it out online. And a heads up in case you are heading into the city for any events this weekend, there is a planned No Kings protest that will start at Cal Anderson Park at noon. This will have impacts on the area, so a reminder to plan ahead for Saturday. Are you heading into the ballpark this weekend? Let me know. Paul H. at KIRORadio.com. Paul Holden, KIRO News Radio.
A week after their rocket returned to the launch pad, the Artemis II crew is set to return to the Cape for next week's planned launch to the moon.
Commander Reed Wiseman and his 3 crewmates are due here by mid-afternoon with 4 days of prep time before Wednesday's planned launch. Wiseman tells CBS News he's prepared for the unexpected now and in flight.
We look at this entire mission as we will proceed when it is ready. When the hardware is ready and the team is ready, we'll proceed. And actually in flight, in space, going around the Earth, it almost feels the same way.
If all goes well, Artemis II will loop around the far side of the moon and go deeper into space than anyone has ever gone before. Peter King, CBS News at the Kennedy Space Center.
A new study from Stanford finds AI chatbots may be telling people what they want to hear, not necessarily what they need. Researchers say users tend to prefer responses that are agreeable, even when discussing serious interpersonal issues. CBS Tech reporter Ian Scher has more.
Several AI companies, including OpenAI, which makes ChatGPT, have had to deal with this issue, in part because people complain about how overly agreeable or less kind an AI can seem. The researchers said sometimes it's hard to tell when an AI is being overly agreeable because it doesn't always just say you're right, but instead couches responses in a neutral and academic language, ultimately giving you a supportive perception regardless of the situation.
The Oscars are quitting Hollywood.
Starting in 2029, the Academy Awards show will shift from its current home at the Dolby Theater on Hollywood Boulevard to a more spacious venue in downtown L.A. The Peacock Theater will provide up to 1,000 more seats for the celebrity audience, and developer AEG will make improvements and upgrades. The Peacock is next door to the Crypto.com Arena, home to the LA Lakers and Kings. The Dolby is just steps from the Blossom Room at the Hollywood Roosevelt Hotel, where the very first Oscars were held in 1929. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
It's 5:39. National headlines on the way on KIRO Newsradio.
Local news from local voices you trust.
Flights out of Joint Base Lewis McChord.
KIRO Newsradio.
Questions about whether the Pentagon is deploying special forces to the Middle East.
The news you depend on.
Gas prices up 25 cents in the last week.
Conversation.
Then all of a sudden, Trump comes out, hey, we're having productive talks.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM. Streaming everywhere on the KIRO Newsradio app.
It started as a puddle.
Where?
In the shower.
Uh-oh.
Then the kitchen sink.
Started backing up?
Yeah.
I know where this is going.
Clogged up.
Right. No problem.
Beg your pardon?
There's no clog we can't clear.
You're Dan.
From Apollo Plumbing.
This is going to get pricey.
How about $83?
To clear my drain?
Apollo Plumbing clears main drains every day.
For $83?
$83 or it's free.
What's the catch?
No catch. We'll even do a camera inspection.
Why's that?
It's the best way to find the cause of your clog.
And it's included?
No extra charge. Truth is, we hate clogs.
I don't love them.
Seen them all.
Ew.
I promise. There's no clog Apollo can't clear.
Guaranteed.
83 or free.
Goodbye, slow drains.
All it takes is an accessible clean out.
And Apollo gets my drains draining again.
You call, we come, it's fixed.
My heroes.
Just doing our job.
Thank you, Apollo Plumbing.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
Are you in pain? Have you considered surgery or even joint replacement? Hi, everybody, it's John Curley. Before you make that decision, I recommend you see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. I did, and it's been a game changer. My doctor took a look at my x-rays and said, well, looks like you need a whole new hip. And then he said, wait, how old are you? And I told him, and then he said, well, wait, you're too young for a hip. You're just going to have to, live with the pain. We'll see you in 3 years. It was horrible. Dr. Wagner is a board-certified Seattle physician with over 30 years of experience performing more than 20,000 stem cell procedures, using a person's own stem cells to regenerate cartilage in their own joints. People with severe osteoarthritis, even bone on bone, are back doing what they enjoy doing without pain and without surgery. So whether it's a hip like I had, or a shoulder, elbow, ankle, wrist, or knee, before choosing surgery, see Dr. Mark Wagner first. Go to drmarkwagnermd.com.
Thanks for calling CM Heating.
Aren't you the company that gives away free furnaces?
That's us. Buy a qualifying high-efficiency cooling system and the furnace is free.
Wow.
Yeah, and our home comfort advisors are tax credit and rebate specialists, so they'll handle the rebate for you.
Go to CM Heating for better comfort, lower bills, and a free furnace you'll love for years. Get your free estimate for furnace replacement at cmheating.com. And remember, for furnaces, fireplaces, hot water, and total home comfort, including electrical, there's no beating CM Heating.
The team that gave me back my full head of hair, Advanced Hair, is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. Dr. Perongo and his world-class team begin regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. And Advanced Hair guarantees your new hair will grow, just like they did for me. Find out why Advanced Hair is the best of the best. With your free consultation, you'll receive $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
CBS News Brief. An end to the partial government shutdown could be one vote away in the House. Senators passed a bill early today to fund DHS, not ICE, and pay TSA workers. The finger pointing's begun. Minority Leader Chuck Schumer.
This could have been accomplished weeks ago if Republicans hadn't stood in the way.
The president giving Iran more time to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. CBS's Jared Hill.
President Trump announced he's extending his self-imposed pause on striking Iran's energy plants to April 6th. The announcement shortly after Wall Street closed, with U.S. stocks recording their biggest loss since the war began.
Dow futures down 73. A tour helicopters crashed on a remote beach on Hawaii's Kauai Island, killing 3 people. KGMB TV's Stephanie Lum.
Officials have not identified the victims, but say 1 pilot and 4 passengers were on board the chopper operated by Airborne Aviation.
CBS News Brief. I'm Deborah Rodriguez.
Our forecast, what a nice way to wrap up the week. We'll see partly sunny skies again, 56. Boy, it was lovely for the baseball game, wasn't it? Tomorrow, we'll see a few more clouds rolling in, but still peaks of sunshine in 55. Sunday is when we expect to see the showers return, but not until the afternoon hours. Right now, partly cloudy and 40 in Seattle. Coming up, Sully has a choke point, an update on the work being done on the Vantage Bridge along I-90, and also a preview of his first trip on the new 2-line light rail across the lake. This is Seattle's Morning News.
Jackson Hewitt will do your taxes for $149 or less, no matter how complicated. So if you're a delivery driver / handyman / wedding DJ, you pay only $149 or less. We're talking to you, waitress.
Check, please.
/ pet sitter / influencer. Just $149 or less. Want your refund to work as hard as you? Hurry, don't wait. File with Jackson Hewitt today. Limited time offer for new clients on federal returns. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Annie's first oil change wasn't as hard as she thought because she went to AutoZone, where a friendly AutoZoner helped her find the right oil and save on an oil filter. He explained the job and showed her free how-tos on AutoZone.com. When she was done, AutoZone recycled her old oil for free. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
On top of home and auto, Progressive protects your boat, RV, and motorcycle so you can explore the unknown.
Actually, we just take the RV to the same campground every year.
Well, maybe you can catch your own dinner on your boat.
Oh, we can actually get pizza delivered there from this brick oven place we love.
Will you at least try a new topping?
Honestly, probably not. We kind of have a go-to order.
Fine. Just bundle home or auto insurance with your outdoor vehicles with Progressive and stay protected when you go, I guess, where you've gone before. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
I'm their conduit, and I'm glad to do it.
Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Let's go.
Now, Chokepoints with Chris Solomon.
Presented by Carter Subaru.
Like daily $15 tolls and backups across the Ship Canal Bridge, the delays on the I-90 crossing over Vantage Bridge are back.
Better weather is back and construction is impacting your drive. Sully is here with the update.
Construction on the Vantage Bridge over the Columbia River started up again earlier this year. Contractors blocked one lane in each direction of I-90. Wasn't really a big deal until last weekend when the weather was nice, and then a lot of people started heading back and forth to eastern Washington. The congestion was so bad that WashDOT had to issue a travel alert to people to remind everybody that construction was back, and so were the delays. Now, to bring you up to speed, if you're not familiar or you don't know where the Vantage Bridge is, it's east of Ellensburg, down the canyon, it goes across the Columbia River, then back up towards the Gorge event center, and then, working your way further east. This is the third season of work on the bridge. They're replacing concrete panels and working on the columns of the bridge. WashDOT's Summer Dairy says they've made a lot of progress so far.
We've installed over 266 panels out of a little over 600. In addition to that, we've done more than 80% of the work on the bridge piers. So we've made significant progress.
There are still 2 more construction seasons left before the work is complete, so that's sometime in 2028. The lane restrictions start several miles to the east of the west of the bridge, and the delays can extend significantly to the merge. WashDOT's Dairy says you really need to avoid the middle of the day through the area if you can.
If you want to avoid them, definitely go a day or two before, a day or two after, or really, really early in the morning or really late at night. The peak time is typically from about noon to 6 that you want to avoid.
The terrible drive heading eastbound, primarily Friday afternoons as people are leaving this side and heading over there, and then westbound on Sunday afternoons for those return trips. Now, if you are heading east, don't be tempted to get off at Kittitas Road and use the old Vantage Highway to get around the backups. One, it just can't handle the capacity. And then more importantly, you'll sit in long delays trying to get back onto the freeway.
The main reason why I don't recommend it is when you're connecting back onto I-90, onto the bridge as you're headed eastbound, that's where the pinch point is. So you're compounding the backup that it already exists on I-90 by trying to get in.
These lane restrictions in place 24 hours a day. They will remain blocked, the one lane in each direction, until the weather turns bad later in the year, likely around November. But the work will stop, and all lanes will reopen for Memorial Day weekend, the 4th of July weekend, and Labor Day weekend, when we're going to see the most, our biggest weekends of travel on that corridor. And a little bonus this year for soccer fans. The lane restrictions will actually be lifted from Memorial Day weekend all the way through July 4th, a full 6 lanes of open road, all for the World Cup.
The bad news is it looks like the Gorge concert venue has some really good concerts this summer, and we can't open it up to all 4 lanes for every single concert.
So World Cup, you get 6 weeks. If you're going to the Gorge, tough luck. But again, if you've done this the last couple of years, I know, Charlie, you've done this a couple of times.
Oh, yeah.
You've tried the Old Vantage Highway. I've done that once or twice. I went really early in the morning to try that. I still wouldn't recommend it. This weekend's going to be super nice, so I'm expecting a lot of people heading that direction. I just want you to be ready. Middle of the day or Friday afternoon, it's going to be really difficult getting over to that side of the state.
Yeah, I got stuck on it coming back from Montana once, and it was like...
No, it's not. It is not. It's the real deal. I mean, because they start that lane restriction a couple miles ahead, and it is really not pleasant.
At least they have the sign as you're heading east of the mountains, and it gives you a reasonable expectation of how long you're going to be stuck at that bridge. And I like to be mentally prepared for just sitting in gridlock for an hour.
Yeah, some people have told me that they wish DOT had more than one sign. Like if you're going westbound, it's before like Moses Lake, and they're like 90-minute delays, but it's, you're an hour from that. I'd like one maybe a little closer to give you a handle like, hey, coming up in 5 miles, you're going to hit it, and it's going to be, there's only one sign heading westbound, and it's just east of Ellensburg. I'd like one that gives you a little bit better warning, because it's hard to predict, when you're an hour and a half away from the closure, if that's going to be the case when you get there. But it is nice to know kind of what you're getting into.
All right, I understand we're going to get a bonus choke point this week because you are getting ready for a little ride today.
Ooh, yeah, big doings today, and then really this weekend. Right after the show, I'm heading over to Bellevue, and I'm getting on a light rail train, the 2-line, and we're going to go across the lake.
This is exciting.
Yeah, this is it's a demonstration ride for the media. We're getting a chance, hopefully, to talk to Dow Constantine and Claudio Balducci and others from Sound Transit who have been working on this for so long. But a big deal to get across the lake. I mean, it's 6 years late. I mean, let's not, go super hooray. And this thing was supposed to open in 2020. But, yeah, getting across the lake is a huge deal. It takes it from just kind of a right-up I-5 thing to kind of a regional transit line. And I've always said, until it gets to Bellevue, I don't think we'll really understand just how the impact that this can have.
I mean, with the Mariners starting the season, I mean, imagine hopping on a train in Bellevue.
Yeah, or you can.
Saturday.
You could get on in downtown Redmond and get all the way over to the game. And again, I'm going to do some research on this. But if you are planning, yes, Charlie,
2-line.
The 2-line. We have the 1 line goes north and south. The 2-line goes across, and then to either direction.
So if you're going to the game,
I'm going to confirm this 100% today when I talk. But yeah, because I know when I've gone to the games of the Mariners, it's primarily leaving where that crush is there, and you're like, you're trying to beat everybody to the train when I forget to tap every time. I've only done it twice. But make sure if you're going to Bellevue or Redmond, your train says 2-line, or you might end up in Linwood before you realize, wait a minute, I thought I was going to Bellevue. This is the first time where the 1 or 2-line will be important for where you're going. Or if you're going to Linwood and you got a 2-line train by mistake and you don't transfer, in the downtown transit tunnel, you're going to wake up, or you're going to end up in Bellevue and be like, what? What happened? So this is watch the name on the train. 1-line north-south, 2-line east-west. But I'm going to check on that. Yeah, I'm pretty excited.
I'm looking forward to hearing about it.
I'm a little nervous as well. I mean...
Got your life jacket?
Yeah, not that I'm going to end up in the water, but... there's a reason why no one in the history of man has put a rail car across a floating bridge.
Yeah, it's quite a feat.
Quite a feat. And so, I'm excited to go check it out. This is a big deal. 6 years late, over budget. They've had their issues, but this is a huge deal for making Sound Transit kind of a regional thing. So we're going to shoot a bunch of video, talk to a bunch of dignitaries, and huge because you can catch it for the opening weekend of the Mariners.
Very
and see
cool.
what it means.
Sully, I am happy to report, survived. He's in the newsroom, and we're going to be hearing much more about his ride. I just saw the video. It was very cool. He did make it across the lake, and that choke point is coming up in just about 20 minutes. It's 5:54. Time for a check on our forecast for the weekend. Looks pretty nice. Partly sunny today, 56. We'll cloud up a little bit tomorrow, but still see peaks of sunshine, 55. And then on Sunday, it should be dry in the morning, but some showers will arrive in the afternoon and a high of 51. Right now in Seattle, we have partly cloudy skies. Seen some fog in spots, too. It's 40 degrees. Coming up, KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey on a man being charged with attempted murder after trying to push another person right in front of an oncoming train. Also, we'll get that choke point for you with Sully coming up at 6:15. You can always text us at on the Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line 888-973-5476. This is Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
The NBA takes its biggest step yet to bringing the Sonics back to Seattle.
The NBA Board of Governors has officially greenlit a deeper look at expansion to Seattle.
KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey has been following this.
Amanda, what a huge story for the city.
Speculation is that it's going to be 28-29 that season.
Stay plugged into the very latest at mynorthwest.com.
I'm super excited for the jobs, the restaurants.
And KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
We are on a magic carpet ride.
KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
What if you could have the most reliable Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee.
Just 5 years of fiber-powered Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to the devices that need them most.
That finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. And that keeps you gaming in the fast lane, even when the whole family is banking on bandwidth. And here's the best part. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included.
Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi.
Hey, let's face it, a lot can change in 5 years. Kids grow taller, dreams grow bigger, but your Wi-Fi? It would stay reliable and the price would stay put. The Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity. Imagine that.
Select plans only. Restrictions apply. Powered by fiber. Connected to the premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
The first few steps that I took in the morning were pretty painful.
This is Carlos.
I mean, I had been told by multiple orthopedic surgeons that there was no alternative for me.
That wasn't what he wanted to hear. You see, Carlos is an active guy.
I played basketball, and for 3 to 4 days after, my knees would just be so swollen. And now I can play basketball, and there is no swelling. There is no pain in the knees.
No swelling, no pain, because Carlos went to see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
I'm just happy to be able to be out there. And then knowing that tomorrow I am not going to suffer for this.
What do you say to your friends and family who are in pain?
I say, I had horrible knee pain and stem cells really worked for me. You might want to go to Dr. Wagner, just get a consultation before you have surgery.
Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
You pledged your life to serve. You made sacrifices, lost loved ones. At VA, we don't see the falls you've taken. We see the 1,000 times you've stood back up. We embrace your uniqueness and won't trivialize your hardships. We can't promise to heal all wounds or wash away all trauma, but we do see a path forward. We see all veterans. We see you. Learn how treatment works and recovery is possible. Visit maketheconnection.net.
I'm waiting for mortgage rates to come down. I hear that every week, and even though rates are a little higher than I'd like, VA loan rates have come down low enough that some people are saving hundreds of dollars per month simply by consolidating their bills into one VA cash-out refinance. Hi, I'm Steve Teitler, owner of Best Mortgage, a local family-owned company, the VA loan experts for 34 years. We love helping our veterans save money. One of our VA clients saved more than $1,200 per month. We can also help you buy a home with no money down. The VA loan program is a fantastic deal that you have earned. Give us a call and we'll discuss your VA loan options with honest advice you can trust. And we do conventional loans too. Search the web for Best Mortgage or call 425-649-6000. You'll talk to a real person, never an AI robot. Best Mortgage, 425-649-6000.
Carter Subaru is Seattle's only Subaru dealer with the largest selection of Subarus in Washington. With over 800 vehicles in stock, they have exactly what you're looking for with savings you'll love. Visit Carter Subaru in Shoreline and Ballard or anytime at cartersubaru.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. It's up to lawmakers in the House now after the Senate voted early this morning to fund the Department of Homeland Security, accept ICE and its operations, pay TSA agents, and make life easier for airline passengers. CBS's Jared Hill.
The Senate agreed essentially to what the Democrats have been proposing from the jump. All of this paving the way for a smoother journey at airports across the country.
Correspondent Jason Allen checks in from the airport in Houston.
Houston's airport's been operating at less than half of their 37 checkpoints, depending on what staffing is day to day. And that's even with an additional 30 plus TSA officers who have been surged here. In Atlanta, there were lines that were stopping at the passenger drop off where you just get out of the car. In New York's LaGuardia Airport, the lines were surging throughout the terminal.
The House could vote on the funding bill as soon as today. President Trump has made another sudden shift on the Iran war. He's extended his deadline for reopening the Strait of Hormuz by 10 more days after revealing Iran allowed 10 oil tankers safe passage. Secretary of State Marco Rubio arrived in France today for meetings with G7 foreign ministers. The BBC's Nomia Iqbal is in Paris.
There is a lot of confusion out of the U.S. on exactly what that is. He will want G7 members to help in reopening the Strait of Hormuz. For the G7, the other members, this is a really uncomfortable position because, broadly speaking, they do not support the war.
3 people have been killed, 2 injured in a helicopter crash on a remote beach on the Hawaiian island of Kauai. Mayor Derek Kawakami.
4 passengers, 1 pilot. From the information that we received, it is a tour helicopter.
Tours are popular for exploring the cliffs, the beaches, and waterfalls that line the Napali coast. A CBS News survey finds more Americans are using AI, but they're still skeptical.
56% of those polled say they use AI, up from 41% a year ago. But there are some tasks people do not trust AI to handle. Only 13% say they'd be comfortable having AI drive their taxi or rideshare. A mere 15% would be okay having AI handle their finances or make health diagnoses. Americans are much more comfortable with AI handling more mundane tasks like proofreading and finding things online. 66% believe AI will cause more job losses. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Get set to pay more for Netflix. Here's CBS's Matt Wolf.
The streamer says it's increasing subscriber costs across 3 tiers. Ad-supported subscription goes up to $8.99, up $1. The standard plan going up $2 a month.
Brent crude tops 110 again. Dow futures down 193. This is CBS News.
What is going on?
What's going on here?
How is this possible?
Great storytelling starts here.
Oh, come on.
Why? It's time for 60 Minutes.
It's 6:03 on a Friday morning. Let's check in with Sully for traffic.
It's Friday light across the board with one little exception. Unfortunately, the volume is light down in the Steilacoom-DuPont Road area there in DuPont. We've been working with a crash for a couple of hours on northbound I-5 right there in DuPont. Left side of the road is blocked. Looks because of that wide open area there to the left, which they're eventually going to turn into an HOV lane, has given them some ability to move some of this over to the left side. But a little bit of a backup there. Plan on about 40 minutes from Olympia to Tacoma. You probably won't need all of that, but just to make sure you make it to your destination on time. And then Federal Way to Seattle is only 35 minutes. So whatever you lose there, if you're continuing up, you'll make up the pace. Looking at Puyallup to Renton, not bad. 35 minutes there. Renton to Bellevue is only 15. Coming down from the north end, 35 minutes still from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. Just starting to see a little hint of slowing as you work your way past Northgate. This report brought to you you by Wilcox Farms. For a convenient, healthy snack on the go, look for ready-to-eat Wilcox hard-boiled eggs. Find Wilcox eggs at Costco, Metro Market, Safeway, and other local grocers.
Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It's 6:04. Developing this morning, there are big questions surrounding a 26-year-old man accused of trying to push a stranger in front of an oncoming light rail train.
4 years ago, he faced another criminal charge, but was ultimately deemed mentally unfit to stand trial, and he was let back on the streets.
Joining us live with more is KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey.
The surveillance photo of this alleged push at the Northgate station just last week is absolutely horrifying. Next hour, we're going to show it on our YouTube feed, and I'm going to post it on social media as soon as I'm done here. It shows the victim minding his own business, standing on the platform, facing the tracks at the station, which are just about 4 feet away. There's a train arriving at the station at the time, and it appears to show the suspect, Alicio Melendez, arms extended, pushing the victim from behind. Well, deputies say that suspect ran off, and they later found him at a nearby mental health home. The victim is okay, never actually fell onto the tracks. Well, back in 2019, prosecutors charged Melendez with second-degree assault in a domestic violence case. He was deemed not competent to stand trial at the time. He was civilly committed to Western State. After treatment 3 years later, the State Department of Social and Health Services released him. Prosecutors say, or seem to be trying, that is, to get in front of this, because they say to us in an email that Melendez was deemed unfit to stand trial at the time and not restorable back then. So a judge dismissed that domestic violence case. He was apparently deemed restorable, however, and was restored by DSHS. And now new charges of second-degree attempted murder. He is being held on $750,000 bail. He's scheduled to be arraigned next Tuesday. Charlie, Amanda?
Keep us up to date on this, Luke. It's 6:06 now. A childhood prank leads to gunfire in Tacoma and an attempted murder charge.
Pierce County prosecutors say 4 teens were doing what teens have done for years, throwing water balloons, this time from car to car on February 28th. One driver took offense, followed the teens, blocked them in, pulled a gun, robbed them, and shot one of them in the chest. Adam Faber says 31-year-old Mashi Gueri, a convicted felon, faces multiple charges.
Attempted murder, 4 counts of felony harassment, threats to kill, 1 count of assault, and 4 counts of robbery.
Fortunately, the injured teen will survive. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
The city of Seattle is asking for a new trial after a jury found it negligent in the 2020 shooting death of a 16-year-old in the so-called CHOP zone. Jurors awarded more than $30 million to the father of Antonio Mays Jr., ruling the city's delayed emergency response contributed to his death. But the Seattle Times reports the city says the verdict was flawed. It argued Mays likely wouldn't have survived his wounds even with faster care. Evan Ocean is the Mays family attorney.
Unfortunately, it's par for the course. There's been no apology. There's been no acknowledgement of what they did wrong. And it's, more of the same. And we're going to fight them every step of the way.
The city's request now goes to the judge who oversaw the trial. The killing of Antonio Mays Jr. remains unsolved nearly 6 years later.
Gas prices remain high, and they have hit a major milestone this week. Here's KIRO 7 TV's Lindsay Sheldon.
According to AAA, state average is still $5.30 a gallon. We've been tracking this all week. Prices are almost $1 more than last month. Meanwhile, today sets another new record in the state of Washington for most expensive diesel prices. Yeah, the average for a gallon of diesel is now up to $6.55 as of this morning.
And the prices for diesel are expected to create ripple effects through the economy, drive up prices for food and any consumer goods that need to be shipped. So that's everything. The record high for a gallon of regular is $5.55, set back in 2022 during the beginning of the Russia-Ukraine war. Coming up at 6:45, we're going to speak with Patrick DeHaan from Gas Buddy to see how bad this could get.
Keeping you informed since 1974. This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
Well, it's Friday, Amanda. We made it.
I know. Isn't that awesome?
Yeah. How late did you stay up for the game last night?
I I made it till about 8:30ish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oof,
I
8:30.
know, I'm a little sleepy
Who
today.
can stay up that late? Not exactly what the Mariners wanted to start off the season.
No, but the vibe was amazing.
Yeah,
Like, the pregame
yeah.
stuff was so cool.
Lot of hype. You feeling okay, David?
Yeah, I stayed up for the whole game.
Of course you did.
Definitely was a little disappointed, but definitely some really good parts of the team. Brendan Donovan, that new
Right out of the chute.
player. I know, like really exactly what we were hoping for from him. So definitely some bright spots. Hoping they can get a win tonight and even up the series.
And Sully, you've made a vow.
I'm not wearing any Mariners gear ever again. I was the jinx.
What did you predict yesterday? 161.
I predicted 160-2, which is still possible.
Yeah,
I was off. I said they were going to lose to the Yankees and the White Sox at some point during the season. I was wrong.
Okay.
Oh, well.
Well, this hour of Seattle's Morning News is sponsored by American Crawl Space and Pest Control. And Sully, you have a bonus for us.
Yeah, bonus choke point today. I'm going to take you along for a ride on the new 2 line across the lake, which opens to service light rail tomorrow. Got some great video coming up here, and plus some choice words from the people in charge of Sound Transit of where we are and where we're going.
I just saw your video. It's really cool.
Yes.
It's now 6:10. The superintendent of the Skykomish School District is now on leave. This follows the recent arrest of a teacher accused of raping a young student. KIRO 7 TV's Jason Sloss has more.
As former Skykomish PE teacher Daniel Bubar sits in jail, Skykomish School District Superintendent Dr. Destry Jones is now on leave. Parents say they are also furious with Superintendent Jones, saying he needs to answer for how Bubar's crimes were allowed to go on. Meanwhile, we're told many parents have yanked their kids out of the school and will not let them go back until Jones is gone for good.
As for the 62-year-old Bubar, he pleaded not guilty last week to multiple charges.
If you ever locked your love to a bridge in Gig Harbor, it's gone. City crews finished pulling about 500 so-called love locks off a bridge over Donkey Creek on Wednesday. The News Tribune reports Pierce County recommended taking them down during routine bridge inspections. Altogether, the locks weighed more than 400 pounds. Gig Harbor's public works director says they started with locks hanging above a pedestrian walkway, worried the weight could send a panel crashing down on people below. New signs say locks are not allowed on the bridge.
Well, opening day hype was buzzing all over Seattle and continued right up to the first pitch at T-Mobile Park last night. The Mariners did unveil their 2025 American League West Champions banner in a special pregame ceremony. 2025, the deepest playoff run in franchise history, and the first time in years the team actually made the postseason.
Well, it's going to be a busy day in Soto coming up September 9th. Mariners announced they're moving their game that day to an afternoon start. It's a move to make way for the Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks, who are hosting the NFL's season opener that night at Lumen Field. By shifting to the afternoon, Mariners are hoping to avoid a logistical nightmare for fans of both teams.
This is all because they're doing the game in Australia on Thursday, right?
Yeah. And what was this, David? You might know this. Like, this is only the 5th Wednesday night game for the NFL in history?
I assume the other ones are due to holidays aligning with Wednesday. So that being like Christmas fell on a Wednesday maybe or something like that.
Okay.
And don't the Sounders have a match at Lumen that same day?
Oh, not possible. Really?
It's on the schedule, so I'm not sure if they're going to have to move as well.
I don't think you could do 3 major sports.
Well, it's certainly not at the same stadium.
No.
Like 2 games at the same stadium.
Just cut the stadium in half, and then
perfect.
Sounders get one half.
All right. Well, something to think about. Time to get a check on the weather. And we have Nick Allard from KIRO 7 TV joining us. Nick, you were out at the ballpark yesterday. You still feeling the buzz from all the excitement?
Oh my gosh, yes, it was amazing. The game itself, but the place was fantastic. The fans were all about it, the energy, and it's still there. It's going to be a great year. We do have, right now, a lot of cloud cover for areas around, say, like Everett North, but we're looking at plenty of sunshine around, say, like Seattle South. Well, at least the first hint of sunshine. Basically, a little bit of fog around the South Sound, but then it's just all going to be some sun until late in the day. I do think, again, around like Skagit County North, you'll probably keep a little more cloud cover, but still, it's going to be nice. So at least mostly sunny, turning partly to mostly cloudy late in the day. So this evening, it's cloudier. Highs in the mid-50s to low 60s. Tomorrow is mostly cloudy, but looking dry with highs in the mid-50s. But then Sunday, we wake up to a lot of clouds, and I think you'll see some rain west of Puget Sound by mid to late morning, and then across the Puget Sound area after lunch. So it's a wet second part of the day. If you're traveling across the passes, that should mean some pass level snow. I mean, not a ton, but still pass level snow. And you'll be in the 50s, upper 40s and lower 50s. Monday and Tuesday are drier with some rain returning Wednesday. So you are going to get some wet weather this weekend, but you have all day today. You have a cloudier day tomorrow, and then you have afternoon rain for Sunday. All in all, it looks pretty nice.
Okay, thanks, Nick. It's 40 in Seattle right now.
And time for a check on the Friday drive. We do traffic every 10 minutes. Chris Sullivan, what's happening?
Well, not a lot. We've got a really good drive out there today. We've got kind of a fresh, fast Friday out there. Friday light, call it what you will. The one little spot we have is on northbound I-5 right at the Steilacoom DuPont Road. Fortunately, there isn't a lot of volume around this, but we've been working with a crash for several hours now in that area. Most of it is now moved over to the left side of the road, but the left lane is blocked there, and we are seeing just a little bit of a backup. Give yourself 40 minutes to make it from Olympia to Tacoma. That you probably won't need all 40, but just enough to make sure you get where you're going. Then the rest of the map looks all green. We're looking at Tacoma being nice and quiet. Federal Way to Seattle's only 35 minutes. Puyallup to Renton's only 35. We're starting to see our first little hints of breaking through the S-curves on northbound 405, but really right there from the Maple Valley Highway on-ramp to the landing. So basically just one exit's worth of it. You'll get through it okay. And then across the lake, no problems coming down from the north end. A little slowing in Canyon Park, but we're not up to 40 minutes yet from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. This report brought to you by the Seattle Mariners. Ichiro Replica Statue Night, Friday, April 10th. Don't miss out. Get your tickets at mariners.com.
I'm their conduit, and I'm glad to do it.
Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Hey, oh, let's go.
Now, Chokepoints with Chris Sullivan.
Presented by Carter Subaru.
It's basically a Sully-palooza this week.
Yes, it is. It should be.
6 years late, but light rail service across Lake Washington is set to begin tomorrow, creating a truly regional public transportation system.
Sully, I'm very excited about hearing about your ride across the lake on the train yesterday.
And, well, the first thing is I couldn't have asked for a better day for it.
Gorgeous.
I mean, it was beautiful. The views from the center of I-90 were amazing. The top of the Seattle skyline, Mount Rainier, the Bellevue skyline, and incredible views of the lake. I mean, I hadn't been on those tracks in the middle of I-90 in 8 years, but that felt like a lifetime ago. There was so much anticipation in 2018 as I toured the construction zone as the tracks were being laid. Light rail to the east side just a few years away then. And then came the news that the concrete plinths, the supports for the tracks, were bad. Not some of them, but all of them. All that track had to come out. That was a bad day for King County council member and Sound Transit Board member Claudia Balducci.
There were many days on this project when I wondered whether we were going to get to the end. That was one of them, but the trick was to just never quit. We never quit. The construction team never quit. The contractors never quit. We worked through everything, and now we have a system that I feel very confident about, that it's safe, that it works.
But the tracks are down today. And the service starts tomorrow on our YouTube live feed. You can see I got right above the operator to go give you a firsthand POV of what it's like. This is going from the Mercer Island station. There we are through the Mercer Island lid, and then eventually it opens up to Lake Washington. It is absolutely beautiful. And opening light rail to the east side will be a game changer. Not better late than never. Here's Sound Transit CEO Dow Constantine.
This is the most challenging project we have ever built or that we will ever have to build. And there were, in fact, some challenges. Contractor really struggled with some of the infrastructure on the bridge, had to redo some of it, and that slowed us down a little bit.
For perspective, this is the first time in human history that someone has put train tracks on a floating bridge. An engineering marvel. By the way, if you're looking at our YouTube live video, that Mercer Island lid is a lot longer than that. Because when you're driving in a car, look, ta-da! There we go. You pop up coming out of the tunnel in what used to be the old express lanes there, and here you are. You can see the lake. You look, there we go. You can kind of see the skyline of Seattle there off to the right, and then you have the lake. And here's the transition to the floating bridge, that's where I was like, yeah, and, through all the problems, service is here.
The fact is that we got it done. We're delivering it, and it is going to be a remarkable asset for the people here for generations to come.
I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little nervous as the train transitioned from Mercer Island down to the floating bridge. Little jostle was all there was. But cheers to those engineers who pulled this off. Somewhere someone's buying them a pint later today. But Sound Transit continues to face challenges as it looks to finish the projects it promised to voters in ST3 in 2016. That $54 billion ask was in exchange for light rail to Everett, Tacoma, West Seattle, and Ballard. Those projects face a $34 billion budget hole going forward. The choices are not easy. Trim the lines, remove stations, maybe not get to West Seattle or Ballard. I asked Constantine if there was a world that he can think of where Sound Transit doesn't deliver on what it promised.
No, there's no world in which we don't end up with Ballard or West Seattle or Tacoma or Everett. We are committed to getting those things done. That doesn't mean they're easy. It means you have more work to do to figure out how to get to each stage of that construction, but we are going to get it done.
As you see in a YouTube live feed, here's a shot of us now going back the other direction, eastbound. You kind of get Bellevue obscured by the upper roadway there, the westbound direction. But then now for the Bellevue skyline appears there on the north side out of this. I'll zoom in here for you so you can take a look. There's the Bellevue skyline there. On the other side, you'll get an unrestricted view of Mount Rainier when
all
it's
right.
out.
It's a beautiful view. Let's back up. Did Constantine just say that there's no world in which they're not going to do this, even though they're $34.5 billion
That's exactly
short?
what he said. They are going to find a way. I don't know what that means. They don't know how they're going to fund it. But no, that is what he just said. And I asked Claudia Balducci, board member, about that as well.
You can't give up. You have to push through. There are going to be problems that we know about and problems that we do not predict today. There's something ahead of us that we don't know yet that's coming. But we do know that if we are committed and we keep going and we work together and we're smart, we will prevail. And so that is how I feel.
Okay.
They will prevail, whether that means opening our pockets to fill the budget. But no, they're like, no, the prevailing thinking now is in talking, to the top dogs there yesterday. They are going to deliver what they promised to voters. Again, they have no idea where that money's coming from at this point.
So they're not going to deliver. I mean, what they promised to voters, at some point they're going to need to get the money from somewhere.
Correct.
It's not just going to magically appear.
No, but they sound very committed that this, now will are they okay with trimming things? Maybe a few stations, maybe it doesn't quite go as far as promised. Maybe in West Seattle it doesn't get all the way up to the junction, like you said, which is really where it needs to go if it's going to go there at all. Maybe it doesn't go past Queen Anne going toward Ballard. But I mean, that's a line that's got to go there. You got to go over the cut there area to work your way to get there. So no, it sounds like they are bent on promising. Again, we'll figure out that's for tomorrow, Charlie.
Okay.
To worry out. But
this is what happens when I listen too closely to a choke point.
Yeah, I know, especially one with pretty video. But the bottom line here is this: Sound Transit has made it through this storm, and light rail service to the east side starts tomorrow. That's a celebration. We should celebrate that. That's a big deal. But we cannot forget that the next storm is coming. We know it's coming. There are atmospheric rivers of billions of dollars coming at Sound Transit over the next decades, and they got to figure it out. They've got promises to keep, and I'm not sure if there's the palatability for people to continue to vote for more money, especially for those of us, Charlie, like you and me. We live on either end of this. Manda, David, you guys live where most of the service has been. Yeah. Charlie, you're in Pierce. Pierce voted down ST3. Let's not forget that. I live in Snohomish. It barely passed, and we aren't really seeing the benefit out of that. So I get it. Celebrate today, but yeah, the reality is they're $34 billion in the hole going forward.
Just a logistical question about the two line here. Are any of these at street grade, kind of like when you go through Rainier Beach and elsewhere on the line? That's at street grade and you got to fight with traffic?
No, on this line from the South Bellevue station going down, it's elevated track, and then you're basically sequestered from any other cross, and then next thing you know, you're in Mercer Island, you're in the Mercer Island lid, then you're across the lake, then you're in the Mount Baker Tunnel area, and then Judkins Park, and then you go down into the Chinatown International District. So no. However, someone's been sending me pictures about this for a while. There are crossing gates around Judkins Park and on the east end. People are like, where are people going? I'm like, no, there are going to be pedestrian crosses and people were like, well, where are they coming from? Well, there are crossing gates there. Let's not cross crossing gates there at Judkins Park or on the east side there by the East High Rise on Mercer Island.
Thank you, Sully.
Yeah.
Where can we find out more?
Way to turn a really good positive story, Charlie, into looking at the dollars and cents, jerk. Jeez. Look at you looking out for our dollars.
I'm sorry about that.
I mean, they answer the questions, but yeah, they seem hell-bent on
Is your
going forward.
Video posted?
Oh, yeah, we posted the stories up at mynorthwest.com. A lot of video there. And so, yeah, check it out. And
it's really cool.
Yeah.
The video is beautiful.
This is, again, something to celebrate, but let's not forget where we really are going forward. On the roads right now, we're not in bad shape. It's Friday light. We do have one crash to tell you about. It's at the Stillicum DuPont Road on northbound I-5 on the left-hand side of the road, but really not too much around it. Only 38 minutes to Tacoma. And then Federal Way to Seattle's 35. A little hesitation past the West Seattle Bridge. Renton to Bellevue, we've got about a 17-minute trip. The S-curves are a little active, but you get out of it quickly. Valley Freeway to the south, looking at 35 minutes from end to end. That's really good. Starting to see a little yellow through Canyon Park on 405, but overall under 40 minutes from Everett to Bellevue and under 40 from Everett to Seattle. Just a hint of slowing around Northgate. This report brought to you by Heritage Homecraft. Heritage Homecraft will transform your kitchen in about a week. Way less mess, time, and expense than a tear-out. Call today, and Heritage Homecraft will pay your sales tax. 425-585-1600.
Forecast looks like it will be pretty nice today and tomorrow. Fairly dry. Highs will be in the mid-50s. Afternoon, perhaps some showers on Sunday. Right now in Seattle, it's 40 and clear.
Coming up, KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey on the price of gas and diesel in our state and how it's impacting our local economy.
Plus, the opening bell report right here on Seattle's Morning News.
KIRO News Radio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
ICE agents have now been deployed to 14 airports across the country.
Traffic.
Did they open lanes?
They just reopened all lanes of northbound I-5.
Engaging conversation.
If he ends this right now, it only emboldens Iran. That's a big, big mistake.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
A one-hander! JSN!
Always here, always with you. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Need life insurance but have diabetes, high blood pressure, or on anxiety meds? If you're a 50-year-old male, even porky, or with type 2 diabetes, $1 million of life insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. For affordable term life insurance, call Term Provider and speak with Big Lou at 800-777-1225. 800-777-1225 or visit biglou.com. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. 800-777-1225.
Hi, I'm Chef Franklin Becker. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. There's only one FDA-approved Ozempic made by Novo Nordisk. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5, 1, and 2 milligrams.
There's no championship league for small business owners, but if there was, you'd be at the top of the standings. Because going pro with Lenovo Pro means you've got the winning formation, one-on-one advice, IT solutions, and customized hardware powered by Intel Core Ultra processors help you stay ahead of the competition. Business goes pro with Lenovo Pro. Sign up for free at lenovo.com/pro.
Lenovo.
Hi, Sarah here with Safeway. We're proud to partner with Champions of Change co-founder Doug Baldwin to help nourish Washington students through the Nourishing Champions program.
Thanks, Sarah. And here's the reality. Every day, students across our state are staying after school for extracurriculars on empty stomachs, and some of them don't know where their next meal will come from. Food insecurity is reaching crisis levels, and the impact on our youth will extend far beyond this moment. The good news is that there's an answer in the federally funded after-school meals programs. But right now, Washington schools' participation is very low, reaching only 2% of the students who qualify.
That's where Nourishing Champions comes in. We're offering grants that not only fund food, but also resource and training support for the schools to offer an after-school meal program for years to come.
Our goal is to reach 10,000 more students in the first year of these grants and then grow from there. School staff can learn more and apply today at championsofchangefoundation.org and navigating to the Nourishing Champions tab. That's championsofchangefoundation.org and click on the Nourishing Champions tab.
Carter Subaru is Seattle's only Subaru dealer with the largest selection of Subarus in Washington. With over 800 vehicles in stock, they have exactly what you're looking for with savings you'll love. Visit Carter Subaru in Shoreline and Ballard or anytime at cartersubaru.com.
Febreze. New Febreze Air Mist has 50% more odor fighters and up to 30% more fragrance than the old formula. So now you can take on 100% more stinky odors, like sweaty gym bags, greasy cooking smells, and the after effects of the dog rolling around in something. Just spray, and new Febreze Air instantly restores just clean freshness. Smell you later, odor. Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
How can you free your team from time-consuming office tasks? Amazon Business. Smart business buying tools enable buyers to find and purchase items fast so they can focus on strategy and growth. Free up your teams and focus on your future. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It is 6:30. Promise, we are not trying to make you angry on a Friday morning or rub salt in the wound this morning.
Yeah, gas prices have hit a major milestone, while the price for diesel is now at a record high for Washington State.
Let's get the update live from KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey.
Yeah, I texted you all this morning, running a little late, had to fill up on my way to work. I know a lot of you listening are doing the same. Diesel was at my station $6.99, and I love this, 9/10 of a penny for a gallon of diesel. I mean, incredible. Incredible. Not $7, because that would look bad, right? But $6.99.
Oh, it'll be $7 tomorrow.
Of course it will be. The average for diesel across the state is $6.55 a gallon, according to AAA. The average for gas, low test here in Washington, $5.30. The national average, $3.98. So we're killing it here in Washington. We're number one. Now, many of us have a choice, of course, whether to drive or take the bus or ride a bike. I get that. We all get that. But, farmers do not. And Dylan Honkoop with Save Family Farms tells me gas prices could drive many farmers this year to the brink of disaster.
The costs keep stacking up, and they have to decide how much longer can we keep doing this, and will this be the one that finally ends our family's legacy after potentially many generations?
Yeah, we're also hearing now from grocery stores that are being impacted. Most delivery trucks, they're diesel, right? Yosef Schulman and his family have owned Leschi Market for more than 75 years. He tells KIRO 7 TV gas prices keep forcing his suppliers to drive up their costs.
150 plus price increases a week, if not more.
Of course, that impacts food prices. That's right. And guess what? Meat and produce always get hit first, he says.
When prices increase, these are the two areas of the store that increase the quickest.
So no steak and potatoes this Friday night. Also, the more this keeps up, the more this is going to impact families, he says, counting on that paycheck.
For the first time in 25 years, we've actually shrunk down our staff.
So stay tuned on this story this morning. I mean, we are now hearing about it. We talk about it, but now we're hearing about those impacts. I know you all are going to talk with Patrick DeHaan at Gas Buddy coming up this morning. Can you ask him, for me, what in the what is going on? Is that a fair question?
We'll let you ask him.
All right.
Yeah. And Patrick is coming up at 6:45, so maybe we will. It's 6:33 now.
Are federal immigration agents breaking Washington's new state law? King 5 reports ICE agents were caught on camera wearing face masks during 2 recent arrests in White Center and Burien. That comes less than 10 days after a new state law took effect banning law enforcement, including federal agents, from covering their faces while interacting with the public. The law was passed specifically in response to previous ICE arrests where agents hid their identities.
Federal immigration agents will be at the World Cup in Seattle, but the mayor says they're not there to round people up. The Center Square reports Mayor Katie Wilson told tourism officials the Department of Homeland Security's presence will be focused on critical security. She says she doesn't believe ICE agents will be focused on making immigration arrests. The assurance comes as the city prepares to host hundreds of thousands of international visitors this summer.
And the city's testing out new crowd control measures at Pike Place Market before the World Cup kicks off. Como News reports temporary planters, posts, and mobile barricades could be installed at the market's entrance as soon as April.
Time to check traffic now, every 10 minutes with Chris Sullivan.
And we are seeing an improving drive for those of you in the slowing in DuPont. There is a lot of it, but we have opened up all the lanes now from this long-term crash we've been dealing with on northbound 5 right at the Stillicum DuPont Road. The left lane was the last to open. Everything what's left there is still kind of on that far left-hand shoulder, which will eventually become the new HOV lane. But right now it's a good place to park everybody who was involved in that crash. Right now back down to 35 minutes from Olympia to Tacoma, and the rest of the map is super quiet. Federal Way to Seattle running 35 minutes, a little braking past the West Seattle Bridge. Valley Freeway, Puyallup to Renton, only 35 minutes. Renton to Bellevue's about 20, maybe a little under. Lake bridges are still good. Just the hints of braking here and there on I-5 and 405. I-5 right there at Northgate, 405 just south of Canyon Park, but we're under 40 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. This traffic report brought to you by Seattle Sports. You can always listen to your favorite local sports content on the FM dial, 97.3 HD2.
It's going to be a nice day. Partly sunny, 56 today. We'll see a few more clouds roll in for tomorrow, but still partly sunny and 55. Sunday, cloudy for the whole day with some rain moving in by afternoon, 51. Right now in Seattle, a little fog in spots. It's cloudy in Seattle and 40.
6:35 makes it time for the opening bell report. Congressional funding for most of the Department of Homeland Security advanced with a vote in the Senate. Here's CBS's Nicole Killian.
Just after 2 a.m. here on the East Coast, the Senate voted to unanimously fund most of the Department of Homeland Security. That includes TSA and other parts of DHS like FEMA and the Coast Guard. But funding for ICE and CBP or Customs and Border Protection is not included. ICE funding has been a sticking point for Democrats who have been demanding reforms to the agency after an immigration crackdown in Minnesota led to the deaths of American citizens Alex Preddy and Renee Good.
Bill now goes to the House, which could vote as soon as today. TSA agents have been working without pay because of the funding lapse.
The U.S. war against Iran has been costly on the American economic front.
Economists now expect U.S. inflation to jump to more than 4% this year because of the conflict. Mortgage rates moved higher for the 4th straight week, while mortgage applications are down. Global oil prices are up more than 40%, and the American cost of gas is up by almost $1 per gallon in the last month.
That's CBS's Ed O'Keefe at the White House.
President Trump's signature will soon appear on paper currency.
Historically, U.S. paper currency bears the signature of the Treasurer of the United States and the Secretary of the Treasury. But this 165-year-old tradition is about to change. In honor of the nation's 250th anniversary, President Trump's signature will appear on dollar bills along with the signature of Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. This will be the first time in history a sitting president's signature will appear on U.S. currency. Treasurer Brandon Beach calls printing Trump's signature on American currency, quote, not only appropriate, but also well-deserved. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
Well, if it feels like your paycheck doesn't go as far as it used to, well, the data backs you up. The Washington State Standard reports new research confirms Washington is now one of the most expensive places to live in this country. The state's cost of living has risen faster than the national average over the last decade. In fact, only California, New Jersey, Hawaii, and Washington, D.C. are considered more expensive. The Seattle-Tacoma-Bellevue area ranks as the 5th most expensive metro area in the entire country.
Washington is pouring more than $100 million into an effort to get more electric trucks on the road. The Center Square reports the state is rolling out a $112 million voucher program. It's designed to subsidize the purchase of commercial, medium, and heavy-duty electric vehicles along with off-road equipment. The push comes as the state's Electric Vehicle Coordinating Council reports new EV sales recently hit their lowest level since January of last year.
If you have ever been stuck in a long Starbucks line at the airport, the company says help is on the way. Starbucks is looking at adding ordering kiosks and digital touchpoints at high-traffic locations like airports, hospitals, and campuses. A senior vice president wrote in a company blog post that airports are one of the biggest opportunities. CEO Brian Nichol has been pushing to cut wait times down to 4 minutes since he took over. According to the Puget Sound Business Journal, a Nielsen survey last summer found a third of customers still complained about how long they had to wait.
Voodoo Donuts coming to Tacoma. According to the Puget Sound Business Journal, the Portland-based chain has leased a building on 6th Avenue. It'll set up shop in a 5,000 square foot space that used to be a cannabis store. It's the company's first Tacoma location, third in the Puget Sound area, joining spots on Capitol Hill and downtown Bellevue. Voodoo has been known for its wild toppings and pink boxes since it opened in Portland back in 2003. They now have 23 locations across the country.
Another price hike from a popular streaming service.
Not even the K-pop demon hunters can stop the economics of streaming. The Oscar-winning Netflix movie hauled in the numbers, but not enough to offset price hikes. The streamer says it's increasing subscriber costs across 3 tiers. Ad-supported subscription goes up to $8.99, up $1. The standard plan going up $2 a month to $19.99, and the premium plan also going up from $24.99 a month to $26.99. This is the second price hike for Netflix in just over a year. Matt Wolf, CBS News.
Netflix has been ramping up their live entertainment sections by offering streams of concerts, sports, and award shows. The service says it will roll out more than $20 billion in entertainment content this year.
A CBS News poll finds more Americans are using AI, but they're still skeptical of it. Here's Michael Wallace with more.
56% of those polled say they use AI, up from 41% a year ago. But there are some tasks people do not trust AI to handle. Only 13% say they'd be comfortable having AI drive their taxi or rideshare. A mere 15% would be okay having AI handle their finances or make health diagnoses. Americans are much more comfortable with AI handling more mundane tasks like proofreading and finding things online. 66% believe AI will cause more job losses. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Wall Street's in a bad mood this morning, and the Dow is down about 428 points at 45,531. That's almost 1%. S&P 500 down 43, and the Nasdaq is down about 183 points.
It starts on your street, in your home, with a problem you're struggling to solve. That's where KIRO 7 Investigates comes in. They show up, they ask hard questions, they get you answers. When your story is seen, change isn't just possible, it's already happening. Watch KIRO 7 News weeknights, 5 to 6:30 p.m. and at KIRO7.com/investigates.
6:41 now. Sully, what's coming up in traffic?
We're going to take a look at the one little bit of slowing that we have out there, southbound 5 at Northgate. We'll break it down next.
The NBA takes its biggest step yet to bringing the Sonics back to Seattle.
The NBA Board of Governors has officially greenlit a deeper look at expansion to Seattle.
KIRO Newsradio's Luke Ducey has been following this.
Amanda, what a huge story for the city.
Speculation is that it's going to be 28-29 that season.
Stay plugged into the very latest at mynorthwest.com.
I'm super excited for the jobs, the restaurants,
and KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
We're on a magic carpet ride!
Spring is the perfect time to make improvements that protect and add value to your home. Hi, Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. For decades, homeowners across the Pacific Northwest have trusted our team for roofing, siding, windows, and custom decking. This spring, save up to $3,000, or qualified homeowners can take advantage of 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest up to 24 months. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to schedule your free estimate.
Progressive knows you could have easily taken the freeway, but you took the scenic route to see a waterfall and an oddly busy boiled peanut stand. Discovering the unexpected is exactly why you bought an RV, so protect it with a bundle from Progressive. Because although you may be 3 hours behind schedule, you're 6 jars of jam richer and possibly enrolled in a butter-churning workshop. Switch to Progressive and protect your RV, boat, or motorcycle by bundling with your home and auto insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
We know exactly what you're not thinking about right now. Wiper blades. But now that you are, take a moment to think about how Rain-X is the #1 brand of wiper blades in America. Why? Because Rain-X thinks about wiper blades all the time. We obsess, so you don't have to. Simply install our blades and then think about literally anything else. So choose Rain-X, America's #1 wiper blades. And then go back to not thinking about wiper blades. Rain-X. Outsmart the elements.
I'm totally thinking about wiper blades now.
Yeah, I wasn't either. Yeah. But now.
Fortunately, we don't need those on the roads as we drive around this Friday morning.
No, we do not. But we just have to keep things in mind. We have a new crash to tell you about. This one is on northbound I-5, right at the top of the Duwamish curve. So as you're coming out of Tukwila, you go over the Duwamish River before making that sweeping left-hand turn to get towards Boeing Access Road. The right lane is blocked there. So we have a little bit of braking kind of as you come around that corner. So just a little bit of a delay. Overall, the travel time is 40 minutes from Federal Way to Seattle. That's really not too bad. We're under 40 from Puyallup to Renton and Olympia to Tacoma. Just a little bit of slowing left through DuPont with that crash over on the left shoulder. Overall, 35 minutes to Tacoma. Coming down from the north end, we're starting to see our first little braking of the day on southbound 5, approaching Northgate where we lose the express lanes. Nothing you can't handle, though. We're under 40 minutes from Everett into Seattle. Also under 40 from Everett to Bellevue. Lake bridges are in fine shape. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
And our forecast, we're going to wrap up the week with more sunshine. Beautiful day, 56 for today. Tomorrow we'll see a few more clouds roll in, but still peaks of sunshine and 55. Sunday we'll change it up a little bit, bring in some clouds, some rain by the afternoon and 51. Right now in Seattle, it's cloudy at 40.
And crude oil prices are spiking again this morning. Any hope for drivers at the pump in Washington? We'll speak with Patrick DeHaan from Gas Buddy coming up next on Seattle's Morning News.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Couponing. Wow, you didn't strike me as the coupon type.
Just trying to stay ahead of inflation. Gas, groceries, everything. It's all more expensive. I need to save wherever I can.
Have you tried Upside yet?
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that I use that pays cash back for every gallon of gas I buy. You've got to buy gas to get around anyway. Might as well get paid for it.
Come on, does that really add up to anything?
I've already made around $200. The extra cash helped pay down my bills, and I even had a little extra left to treat myself.
And the Upside app is free?
Totally free, and the cash back is real. You can transfer the cash right to your bank account.
I'm downloading Upside right now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code ENJOY to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
The sun is shining. It's a beautiful day for baseball.
At T-Mobile Park, you've always got the best seat in the house. Case in point, your ticket might be for the view level, but it's more like Skyline City. Up here, it's hard to say what'll take your breath away first. The gorgeous Seattle sunsets or the spectacular views of every incredible play. If you like value with the view, it's the perfect place to take quality time with the family to a whole new level. Literally.
A bases clearing, 3-run double. Everybody on their feet here at T-Mobile Park.
Mariners baseball. Trident's up.
Don't miss the Mariners opening homestand, featuring tonight's AL West Champs replica banner night at 6:45, thanks to T-Mobile. Tomorrow's Cal Raleigh 60 home run bobblehead night at 6:40, presented by Alaska Airlines, and a showdown against Aaron Judge and the Yankees Monday through Wednesday. Get tickets at mariners.com.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call 877 Cars for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now or go to carsforkids.org.
7 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Seattle's morning news. Always live, always connected. Stream, watch, subscribe, and share at mynorthwest.com.
Well, another day, another near record price at the pump for us here in the state. $5 plus for gas across Washington. In a lot of spots, it's $7 plus for diesel. No end in sight.
All right, let's bring in Patrick DeHaan, head of petroleum analysis at Gas Buddy. We are grateful to have you again this morning. Yes, he did say $7 for diesel. Did you see that coming?
Probably not a few weeks ago. Certainly some surprises here in the stack as we uncover this. And I was just looking this morning, Seattle's now only 15 cents a gallon away from setting a new all-time record, $5.68 a gallon. was that record level back in 2022. And this morning here, looking at live ticking data from Gas Buddy, Seattle's at about 5.53 per gallon of gasoline. And I think, by this point, with everything going on, Trump extending the deadline for Iran, probably, solidifies that we probably will see a record for Seattle. It's just a matter of time.
Okay, so the inertia is there. And the diesel prices, we've been talking about this all week, Patrick. Now that we're in record territory, what are some of the effects that people are going to see?
Yeah, I mean, the next trip to the grocery store, everything. Diesel is the fuel that, powers much of the U.S. economy. And I probably said that last time, but it's hard to understate the impacts for diesel. Trains, tractors, trucks, all use diesel. And it's really going to be, a major impact. And you may not see it yet, right? You go to the grocery store and something might be 10 or 20 cents more expensive, but that's probably just the tip of the iceberg. I have a feeling that more of that is going to be felt in the weeks ahead. It doesn't happen overnight at the grocery store, but it will be passed along the longer that prices remain elevated. And that's my concern, is you'll start to see it show up in CPI data in another week or two, and it's only going to get worse.
Patrick, you posted on X that surging gas prices hit frequency first: fast food, convenience, entertainment. What does that mean exactly?
Yeah, it means motorists are going to start cutting back on discretionary spending. Impulse spending, going out to eat, seeing a fast food place and saying, well, we don't have the money for that because we spent it at the gas pump. So this is generally when we start to see people, $20 prepay does not get you as far. It might only buy you 3 or 4 gallons now. And when you don't have $20 in your pocket that's in your tank, you're probably less likely to go spend it somewhere else.
We're watching live ticker here of crude oil prices. Brent crude now 110.83. It is spiking again today. What does this mean?
Well, it means that you and I can look forward to more increasing prices at our local gas pump over the course of the weekend. And keep in mind, a lot of the decisions that the administration seems to be making, when it's escalatory, it's happening on the weekend. So I'm a little worried that, it does, President Trump has already loosened the timeline up another week. Iran is not going to give in. And now, quite visibly, they see that they're winning this because the president is extending the timeline. I could also see him losing patience in the days ahead if Iran doesn't make a deal, and that could re-escalate and reignite the situation, which could push oil up more dramatically next week. So, the market is parsing out that the two sides are completely, on the opposite end of the spectrum. I don't know that a deal is going to happen because Iran doesn't care to make one. The president is going to be under a lot of pressure from the continued rise in prices, and he's going to, he doesn't want to lose any face from this. So I could see how we're kind of at a de facto showdown here. Nobody wants to give in, and you and I are going to be paying more in the process.
Perusing your feed on X, it looks like you are worried. You've posted a lot of things, and you just said you are worried. What are you most worried about? Just price, or does it go farther than that?
Well, there's a lot of different things here. Aside from the situation in the Middle East, it looks like there's not really much of a cohesive plan on how to prevent the global economy from melting down. Look at oil is really what powers the global economy from gasoline, diesel, and jet fuel. Much of our lives surrounds the consumption, the use of oil. And when oil prices spike so significantly, it's going to have a irreparable effect on the global economy. And so not just paying a little bit more, right? I can pay $1 more a gallon, but when you see these, you're starting to see physical shortages in areas like Asia. Chinese refineries are shutting off because there's not enough oil to refine. So now it's entering a different level. You and I can pay more, but it's starting to have major ripple effects beyond that. I'm seeing people warn of shortages. None of that is on tap for the United States yet. But it's happening overseas where the physical disruption now has drained a lot of storage tanks. And so, when oil is no longer available, when people can no longer, get to work, get to school overseas, it's starting to become a very large problem. And we're probably not seeing the tip of that because we're a little insulated from that. But if this continues, several more weeks and we don't see leadership doing anything, it's going to be more problematic than, even the Arab oil embargo back in the 70s.
That's quite the statement. Washington consistently among the highest gas prices in the nation. We have the carbon tax. We have among the highest fuel taxes in general in the country. Are those policies making us more vulnerable when we get a supply shock like this?
Not necessarily your supplies. The cap and invest program is something that consumers have to pay. So it's not necessarily throttling back, oil companies' investments. But it is going down a path that California has gone down. And now California is more susceptible to the global shocks. And partially now because of California's decisions, Washington is also impacted because two major refineries in California have decided to shut down and leave because the guardrails are so tight that the refineries there can't operate in a way that serves their interests. It's now more serving California. And because those refineries have left, it's putting California in much higher risk, much higher prices because California is now relying more on Asia. And I just mentioned shortages that are happening in Asia. California is going to have to bid, at a higher level for a declining amount of refined products because they don't have enough refinery capacity of their own. So, and that's why California, by the way, $7.61 a gallon in some areas of the Bay Area for a gallon of diesel, because they're going to have to compete more for what's now produced overseas because they produce less of it on their own because refineries have said, we've had enough of this regulatory environment, we're out.
Patrick, usually I ask you for some good news, but I'll let you off the hook this Friday, okay?
No more bad news, at least, right?
Yeah. Patrick DeHaan, head of petroleum analysis at Gas Buddy. Thanks for your time. Have a great weekend.
Oh, boy. Okay, let's check in with Sully now at the traffic desk.
Look over here. Look over here. Everything's okay. Look over here. The good news is right now you won't be wasting a lot of fuel idling on the freeway. It's a pretty good drive out there across the board. Just a little bit of braking on southbound 5 in Northgate, a little bit through Bothell on 405, but we're under 40 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. That's really good. Federal Way to Seattle, no problems, even though we do have the right lane blocked at the top of the Duwamish curve. Not seeing a lot of action around that, but plan on maybe a minute's lost as you go through there. Overall, under 40 Federal Way to Seattle, under 40 from Puyallup to Renton, and Renton to Bellevue is about 20. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
Partly sunny for your Friday, 56 the high. It's 39 right now.
Coming up, we have Luke Ducey on a man being charged with attempted murder after trying to push a person in front of an oncoming light rail train. Luke will be coming up with that on Seattle's Morning News.
KIRO News Radio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
ICE agents have now been deployed to 14 airports across the country.
Traffic.
Did they open lanes?
They just reopened all lanes of northbound I-5.
Engaging conversation.
If he ends this right now, it only emboldens Iran. That's a big, big mistake.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
A one-hander! JSN!
Always here, always with you. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM. KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, accurate auto body.
If you've been in an auto accident, you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
we meet by accident, fixing every last bit, accurate auto body.
Hi, I'm Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. We'll custom build you all new cabinet doors and drawer fronts, and using our exclusive 1/4-inch solid wood refacing process, transform your existing cabinets into a beautiful new kitchen. For a limited time, we'll pay the sales tax. That's right, we'll discount all new orders the cost of the sales tax on the project. Call today and let one of our pros come out and show you how easy and comfortable it'll be to get going on your new kitchen. Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600, 425-485-1600, or heritagehomecraft.com.
KIRO News Radio.
Get on the YouTube channel.
We're live all day on YouTube. Every show, every day.
Hang out with us. The whole gang's there.
And you never know what you might see.
Back up the camera. Oh, my God.
Just search KIRO News Radio, then subscribe.
How does your roof look after this winter? Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. Spring into action today. Save $3,000 on a new roof, siding, deck, or windows. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com.
Xfinity Tech Support, Matthew speaking.
Hi, I live in a pretty remote place, like Jurassic Park remote. No!
Wow.
Will Xfinity Mobile work out here?
Yep, the combination of reliable Wi-Fi and 5G makes it so that you can stay connected in all kinds of places. Plus, you get access to ultra-fast speeds and coverage, whether you're poolside or out live streaming with a T-Rex.
Hold still, you're about to go viral.
Welcome to a new era of Wi-Fi boosted mobile. Cut your mobile bill in half with 2 lines of unlimited. Learn more at xfinitymobile.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Watch Jurassic Park with Xfinity. Restrictions apply. Xfinity Internet required. Savings comparison based on promotional rate for 2 lines of Xfinity Mobile Unlimited versus 2 lines of T-Mobile Experience More, Verizon Unlimited Plus, and AT&T Starter as of February 10th, 2026. Taxes, fees, extra.
Hi, Sarah here with Safeway. We're proud to partner with Champions of Change co-founder Doug Baldwin to help nourish Washington students through the Nourishing Champions program.
Thanks, Sarah. And here's the reality. Every day, students across our state are staying after school for extracurriculars on empty stomachs, and some of them don't know where their next meal will come from. Food insecurity is reaching crisis levels, and the impact on our youth will extend far beyond this moment. The good news is that there's an answer in the federally funded after-school meals programs. But right now, Washington schools' participation is very low, reaching only 2% of the students who qualify.
That's where Nourishing Champions comes in. We're offering grants that not only fund food, but also resource and training support for the schools to offer an after-school meal program for years to come.
Our goal is to reach 10,000 more students in the first year of these grants and then grow from there. School staff can learn more and apply today at championsofchangefoundation.org and navigating to the Nourishing Champions tab. That's championsofchangefoundation.org and click on the Nourishing Champions tab.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, drive, weight, hair loss, and even ED. Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your T level for free. For your free T level check, exam, and consultation, call 206-529-1111 or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM, and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by JTV.com.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Lawmakers on Capitol Hill have made a move to end the crisis at airports. Correspondent Nicole Killian.
Just after 2 a.m. here on the East Coast, the Senate voted to unanimously fund most of the Department of Homeland Security. That includes TSA and other parts of DHS like FEMA and the Coast Guard. But funding for ICE and CBP or Customs and Border Protection is not included.
The House could vote as early as today before lawmakers break for the Easter Passover holidays. More airline passengers are donating to help TSA workers who've been on the job without getting paid. Ellen Dean dropped a gift card in a box at Birmingham Shuttlesworth Airport in Alabama.
I don't think it's fair at all. I think these people should be paid. They're the ones for our security. And to not be paid, I give the ones credit that are showing up.
So far, no comment from Iran after President Trump announced he was giving Tehran 10 more days to reopen the Strait of Hormuz in a new bid to bring the war to a close. Correspondent Chris Livesay reports from Dubai.
Publicly, the Iranians certainly are denying that they are, quote, begging to make a deal, as President Trump has characterized it. Instead, they're doubling down on their previous demands. They want the United States, of course, to cease hostilities. They also want to basically own the Strait of Hormuz.
Brent oil tops $110 again after 2 ships from China, an Iranian ally, were turned away from the strait today. Things will heat up across the South today. Meteorologist Craig Allen.
Dozens and dozens of record high temperatures are expected at least one more time in the east. So Augusta, Georgia, South Carolina, it would be Charleston, North Carolina may see a city like Charlotte getting into the mid to upper 80s to near 90 degrees.
There is a cold front moving east, and that's expected to have temperatures plunging tonight into tomorrow. A baseball star is suing his parents. CBS's Michael Wallace.
It is gone! Opposite field, home run, Alec Bohm!
The Philadelphia Phillies third baseman led his team to an opening day win Thursday, a day after he sued his parents for $3 million. Bohm claims they misappropriated his funds while managing limited liability companies on his behalf and misrepresented their stake in those LLCs. An attorney for the parents says they have always acted in their son's best interests and are saddened by the false narrative he is painting.
Savannah Guthrie is set to return to the Today Show. NBC says she'll be back a week from Monday, following a 2-month absence after her mother's kidnapping. The Dow is down 495. This is CBS News.
Looking for spring jewelry looks? Find them at Jewelry Television. New customers get $20 off purchases of $99 or more at jtv.com.
7:03 now. Time to check traffic on the threes with Chris Sullivan.
And we're in a pretty good shape out there across the board. It is Friday light. There are a couple of places to keep an eye on. Like if you're going northbound from Tukwila, trying to head up to the south end of Boeing Field, we've been working with a crash in the right lane. They're right at the top of the Duwamish curve, kind of before that sweeping left-hand turn. Not a big backup around it. And again, you only need 40 minutes to go from Federal Way to Seattle. That's really good. Looks like we're finally all clear on northbound I-5 through the DuPont area. We had a long-term crash there right at the Stillicum DuPont Road. This actually turned out to be the ends of a police chase where a driver was looking a little erratic and they started a chase and he ran into the back of a semi. The injuries don't appear to be too severe, but that was out there for about 3 hours this morning. So if you drove by it, that's what happened. Puyallup up to Renton, only 35 to 38 minutes. A little slow through the ramp meters, getting up to 405, and the S-curves are a little active, but 20 minutes to Bellevue is a great number. And we're running about 40 from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue, so that's a win at 7:03. This report brought to you by the Emerald Queen Casino. Get ready to be transported back to the golden era of rock. John Waite, John Cafferty, and the Beaver Brown Band live at the Emerald Queen Casino April 9th. Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It's 7:04. Developing this morning, serious questions are emerging about a 26-year-old man accused of attempting to push a stranger in front of an oncoming light rail train.
Court records show 4 years ago he faced separate criminal charges but was found mentally unfit to stand trial and was later released back into the community.
With the story, we're joined live by KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey.
Yeah, let's start by looking at this surveillance photo of this alleged push at the Northgate station last week. It's pretty scary. If you're watching on our YouTube feed, you're looking at it right now. I mean, look at that. It shows the victim minding his own business, standing on the platform, facing the tracks, which is about 4 feet away from where he is at this point where the photo captured. There is a train you can clearly see arriving at the station kind of towards the right. It was heading northbound, I believe. It appears to show the suspect, Alicio Melendez, arms extended, pushing the victim from behind. Deputies say the suspect then ran off, and they later found him at a nearby mental home. The victim is okay, was not actually pushed onto the tracks. But back in 2019, prosecutors charged Melendez with second-degree assault in a domestic violence case. He was deemed at that time not competent to stand trial for those charges. He was civilly committed to Western State. After treatment some 3 years later, the State Department of Social and Health Services released him. Now, prosecutors seem to be trying to get in front of this. They sent us an email explaining because Melendez was deemed unfit to stand trial and not restorable back then, a judge dismissed that domestic violence case. He was apparently deemed restorable or was restored by DSHS because now he faces those charges of second-degree murder attempted because the victim, thank goodness, is okay, that he is being held on $750,000 bail. He is scheduled to be arraigned next Tuesday. Scary photo.
Yeah, you can tell the victim was making the smart move by where he is standing. You've got to stay far back from those tracks. It could have been much worse if he were closer to it.
So you've got the tracks and you've got a yellow strip, like kind of a warning, like
stay a couple feet back from that.
And he was, thank goodness. Yes. Any closer, he would have been in the tracks.
All right, thank you. It's 7:06.
Record diesel prices starting to kick up prices at the grocery store now. KIRO 7 TV's Brandon Thompson has more from Seattle.
For more than 75 years, the Leschi Market has fed their neighborhood.
For the first time in 25 years, we've actually shrunk down our staff.
Joseph says the prices of diesel means his suppliers
150 plus price increases a week, if not more,
have raised their prices along with it, especially meat and produce.
These are the two areas of the store that increase the quickest.
Flooding and erosion have eaten away at the concrete Sauk Valley Road in Skagit County and now is closed indefinitely. KIRO 7 TV reports the county has been applying for grants for years as it tracked the northward migration of the Skagit River and instability of the bank there. Now transportation leaders are working to see whether the single southbound lane can reopen. Otherwise, it's a 32-mile detour.
keeping you informed since 1974. This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
It's a roller coaster, you know, Charlie. Kind of like life these days.
Yeah, it is.
But it's a roller coaster of love.
Sully was on a little roller coaster yesterday, huh?
Unfortunately, not too bad.
It's Friday. It's March 27th. He's Charlie Harger. I'm Manda Factor.
That's Sully over there, keeping an eye on traffic on the threes. Producer David Burbank in the studio today. And by the way, if we don't get a chance to say it on Monday, or Sunday rather, happy birthday, buddy.
Happy birthday, David.
Oh, that's right.
I think it's the big 3-0.
All
so
right.
yeah, it's an important one.
I don't even remember 30.
It was a
Seems like
while
a
ago.
long time.
Yeah.
But that's a biggie. Congrats.
Yeah. All right, coming up on this hour of the show, details on the deal made in the U.S. Senate yesterday to fund the Department of Homeland Security. We're going to hear from CBS News political reporter Torian Small.
And in the 735 commentary, we hear from you about how you are seeing homelessness in Washington State.
It's 7:09. The Seattle City Attorney's Office is seeking a new trial after a jury found the city negligent in January for the 2020 fatal shooting of a 16-year-old in the so-called CHOP zone.
A Seattle jury awarded Antonio Mays Sr. more than $30 million in January. The jury found the city's delayed response contributed to Antonio Mays Jr.'s death. The Seattle Times reports the city argues the verdict was flawed, saying Mays likely would not have survived regardless of the response time. Mays family attorney, Evan Ocean.
The attitude that the city has taken on this is just morally unforgivable.
The city argues the jury's $30 million verdict was excessive. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Washington has cemented its status as one of the priciest places to live in America. New analysis reported by the Washington State Standard shows our cost of living is rising faster than the national average. Only 3 states, California, New Jersey, and Hawaii, plus Washington, D.C., are more expensive. And it's not just Seattle driving up the average. The report found 11 other metro areas across the state all land in the top 25% of the most expensive places in the nation.
Well, no more Washington schools competing in March Madness, but some homegrown talent is still in the big dance. That includes St. John's guard Dylan Darling out of Spokane's Central Valley High. He hit a game-winning shot to beat Kansas, and KIRO 7 TV caught up with one of his coaches.
My phone blew up when that happened, of all the different CV Bears. Oh, my God, like celebrating together. It was just so cool. Such a great moment for our school.
And Darling and the Red Storm take the court tomorrow night in the Sweet 16. They're taking on the number 1 seed Duke Blue Devils.
Well, not quite the opening night the Mariners wanted last night. They lost, but it was a strong start for outfielder Dominic Canzone.
2-1 to Dom, swinging a drive deep into the gap in right center field. Going and going. Goodbye, baseball. Holy smokes, Dom Canzone in his first at-bat of the 2026 season.
And he did it again in the bottom of the 7th.
A solo blast for Dom, a no-doubter. 4th home run of the game for the Mariners. That's a way to celebrate opening day for Dom Canzone.
I'm waking up at 2:30 in the morning and I'm seeing these text messages from the team where it's doing the finger pinch. I don't know what we call this, but it's
it's sort of the chefs.
Hey.
You know, chef.
Well, that is the 3rd multi-homer season or game for Canzone, and the other 2 came last year when he showed big progress, became a key figure in the Mariners winning their first division title in 24 years.
So we're focusing on the positive for the Mariners. 3rd baseman Brendan Donovan. How about that? He displayed exactly why the Mariners were so excited to sign him on the first at-bat of the game.
He's the leadoff hitter for your ball club. The windup and the pitch on the way to Donovan. Swinging a well-hit ball deep to right field. Stay fair, stay fair. It is gone. Goodbye, baseball. Welcome to Seattle, Brendan Donovan.
And yes, he made history, hitting a leadoff home run in the season opener for the first time in Mariners history.
Mariners are doing something a little different on Sundays this year. When they play at home, they'll wear a special throwback jersey. Here's KIRO 7 TV's Eric Thomas.
Mariners will be sporting their throwback Steelheads uniforms. They were Seattle's Negro League team back in 1946, a big part of Pacific Northwest baseball history. And this makes the Mariners the first Major League team to feature a Negro League uniform as part of its regular rotation. It doesn't stop with those threads. The club launching the Steelheads Community Fund, committing $500,000 to support black-led baseball and softball organizations around the area.
And I want one.
Yeah, that's a cool-looking
Very
jersey.
cool. It's 7:12. Time for a check on the weather now. It's going to be a really nice Friday. Nice way to wrap up the week. Partly sunny, 56 today. Overnight low 41. Tomorrow looks like we'll stay cloudy, but some peaks of sunshine in 55. We are still looking for some showers on Sunday, but they should hold off until the afternoon hours. 51 on Sunday. Right now it's 39 in Seattle.
7:13. Time for traffic on the threes. Here's Sully.
At first, a listener question. Crystal wants to know from Tacoma, since we didn't stay up to watch the. Did they use the ABS at all in our game?
I don't know, David.
Yeah, there were a few instances. I know Cal never used it, but I believe the Guardians used it once or twice. Once they failed, the other time they did succeed. So
all right, there you go.
Maybe the Mariners did use it once. I'm trying to remember, but it was interesting to see, certainly.
All right, well, good. Well, there you go, Crystal. It was used. So there you go. That's always something to keep an eye on. On the roads right now, we're, in really good shape. We've cleared the crash on northbound 5 coming out of Tukwila at the top of the Duwamish curve. We have a little braking approaching the West Seattle Bridge. But if you plan on 40 minutes from Federal Way to Seattle, you'll probably have enough time to grab a cup of Joe on your way in, because that you probably won't need all 40. Looking at 35 from Puyallup to Renton, a really good drive there. Olympia to Tacoma, no problems. Just a little hint of slowing on eastbound 16 past Cheney Stadium, really, but nothing to write home about. Renton to Bellevue's 20 or less. And coming down from the north end, you're going to need about 40 from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. A little braking south of 527 out of into Bothell. And for I-5 right there at the Forest Merge in Northgate. But overall, we're in a pretty good spot for this Friday light. This report brought to you by Bucky's Complete Auto Care. For 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has earned local trust with honest pricing, guaranteed repairs. That's why they're Carfax preferred. No gimmicks, just great service. Bucky's.com.
Seattle's morning news on KIRO News Radio.
7:15 now. Congressional funding for most of the Department of Homeland Security advanced with a vote in the Senate yesterday, meaning TSA workers are close to finally seeing the return of their paychecks.
Let's bring in CBS News political reporter Torian Small. Where does this stand this morning, Torian?
Hey, good morning. So close is the relative word here because it still has to go through the House. And even though we've seen and heard from Speaker Johnson and the Republican leadership team who said that they were not happy with the way things proceeded, even if they wanted to expedite this process, they could face some challenges in just the way the House rules are set up. They can't necessarily move this quickly because of pre-existing protocols that require a little bit of time when it comes to moving legislation through its chamber. So they're trying to figure out a way now to either suspend the rules or send it to or through the normal procedures that would then see lawmakers stay over the weekend for a final vote. So we're waiting to see how long this will take, but we could be close to a resolution soon.
When I went to bed last night, the story was that President Trump was ordering Homeland Security Secretary Markwayne Mullin to just pay them anyway. Where do things stand with that?
Yeah, it's unclear how he's authorizing that, where that money is coming from, and how soon that could be appropriated. It's kind of competing with this legislation. So if this becomes law, will that hit immediately or will that hit immediately? So that's kind of the questions that I think everyone, including lawmakers, are still seeking answers for.
Torian, ICE agents had been seen at some airports across the country to help with congestion at the airports. President Trump had been toying with the idea of sending National Guard troops there as well. Is there anything new on that?
Yeah, there hasn't been movement, but that is something that he brought up in the Oval Office this week. It's one of those things where, again, they're not TSA agents. They haven't gone through the months of training when it comes to security screening, but they can help with overall flow. And, according to the TSA acting administrator who was on the Hill this week, she said that was at least helpful in, helping move the lines, but it might not address the crucial concerns, which is the mass call-outs and resignations they're seeing. About 400 plus agents have resigned since the shutdown started. And as of today, that's about $1 billion in paychecks that haven't gone out. So a lot of unsatisfied employees that are still working these airports.
Big sticking point for Democrats has been more oversight for ICE agents, body cams, no face coverings, and the like. Do we know if GOP lawmakers have budged on that?
Well, Leader Thune has made it clear last night when he left around 2 a.m. That ship has sailed. That's his words verbatim. And he believes because Republicans, as part of this deal, are unwilling to pay for ICE and also most parts of Customs and Border Patrol, they no longer have a say or leverage in any changes happening to immigration enforcement. That is pretty significant because that's the reason why Democrats were unwilling to fund this department. And although they could say they played a huge part in securing this deal to reopen the DHS and subsequently address and alleviate some of those concerns at airports around the country, they're coming in or they're leaving with what they came in, which is pretty much nothing.
That sounds like this is closer to being resolved anyway. When it is resolved, do these agents get back pay?
They for sure get back pay. It's built into the law that they would be paid out what they're owed. But again, the biggest problem, at least according to the acting administrator, is how they then rehire. There are a lot of big world events coming to the U.S. this year, this summer, including the FIFA World Cup. And her biggest concern, the acting administrator, was that they would be inadequately staffed to handle just the sheer volume of people and traffic coming in and out of these U.S. airports.
Torian Small, CBS News. Torian, thanks for your time this morning.
Thank you.
It's now 7:19. President Trump is hosting a celebration of agriculture today at the White House.
Farmers and ranchers will gather for what President Trump has described as an opportunity to shine the spotlight on those who grow our food, fiber, and fuel. The gathering comes as the industry awaits a decision by the Environmental Protection Agency on how much biofuel like ethanol must be blended into the U.S. fuel supply. Many farmers have been adversely affected by the president's tariffs, especially those who sell crops overseas, including crops like soybeans. In addition, Trump's decision to allow more beef imports from Argentina has roiled American cattle ranchers. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
Today is day 55 in the search for the mother of Today Show host Savannah Guthrie. News Nation's Brian Anton says in her first interview since her mom disappeared, Guthrie shared a seemingly new piece of evidence.
There was a lot of new information that came out that Savannah talked about involving the investigation. First of all, she said that there were two doors, she used the plural, doors that were propped open at Nancy's house in the back of the house, and that when her sister and brother-in-law showed up to the house, they noticed the doors were propped open. That's something new. She also said that her mom was taken barefoot and in her pajamas, and that her cell phone and wallet were left behind. I mean, it's heartbreaking to think about. And then she talked about guilt that she feels because of the possibility that this all happened because of her fame and her wealth. Listen to what she said about that.
I don't know that it's because she's my mom and somebody thought, oh, that girl, that lady has money, we can make a quick buck. I mean, that would make sense, but we don't know. But yeah, that's probably, which is too much to bear, to think that I brought this to her.
Something else new that she said is that she believes that two of the ransom notes, remember there were all those ransom notes in the beginning of this, that two of them are legitimate and real, which I found to be very interesting because we haven't heard very much about those in more than a month or so.
It's now 7:21. Just ahead of our traffic and weather, Sully's going to love this one. A Michigan woman upset a judge when she appeared in a virtual court hearing while driving.
When Kimberly Carroll popped up on the Zoom call, Judge Michael McNally was incredulous.
Am I crazy, or does it not look like you're driving that car?
I'm not driving the car. I'm a passenger in the car, sir.
She was in the front left seat.
You think I'm that stupid?
The judge then asked to see the driver.
Hang on one second.
Now.
I have to ask their permission.
Carol pulled over and stepped out, clearly showing she was alone in the car. The judge entered a default judgment of $1,900. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Really?
Yeah.
By the way, I also busted a state senator doing the same thing.
Oh, you're kidding me.
A few years ago, as we were coming out of COVID, Senator Rebecca Saldana from Seattle was at a transportation hearing, of all things, where they talk about transportation safety.
Yeah.
She was running late, and she was joining the Zoom for the meeting while actually driving. It was clear as day. She was driving. I sent out a video, and she was like, yeah, okay, I made a mistake. But I'm like, come on. We can't be doing things like this. So anyway.
That's wild.
Yeah, it is very wild.
How's traffic? Is it wild?
Wacky. By the way, speaking of wacky, we're doing first all morning long things about the Mariners.
Yeah.
How about this? They're 4 hydros now.
Yeah, they added silver.
Keep that in mind. Yeah, they're 4 hydros as part of the race now. So I guess that's wild and wacky. Sorry, my brain is all over the place today. It's Friday. We're trying to keep it light. It's got a lot of heavy news today. But, watch for that this weekend. It adds a little more fun. But anyway, the road's now great. We're looking really good. I mean, we need 40 minutes or less from Federal Way to Seattle. Heaviest spot there, past the West Seattle Bridge into downtown. Little hesitation through those Renton S curves. Really there basically from about Talbot up to Sunset, maybe 22 minutes. That's more than enough to get you up into Bellevue. Behind that, the Valley Freeway, under 40. Olympia to Tacoma is only 35. Coming down from the north end, 40 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue. 405 is definitely in much better shape than we've seen the last couple of Fridays. And again, that's what happens when it's dry out. Southbound I-5, some braking through Northgate, but overall, we're in a really good place. This report brought to you by Seattle Sports. Download the Seattle Sports app to stay in the know with the latest news, scores, and opinions about your favorite teams.
Boy, yesterday was gorgeous. Today will be just the same. Partly sunny, 56. Tomorrow, a few more clouds will roll in. We'll be around 55. Overnight lows either side of 40. And then Sunday, cloudy to start the day and some rain by the end of the day. 51 on Sunday. It's 39 in Seattle right now.
Coming up, KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey with a look at the steadily rising gas and diesel prices in our state. The pain at the pump is real.
Yes, it is. What's coming up in the 7:35 commentary?
Well, why addressing homelessness in our area has become such a politicized issue. We'll break it down coming up on Seattle's Morning News.
This hour is brought to you by CM Heating.
Local news from local voices you trust.
Flights out of Joint Base Lewis McChord.
KIRO News Radio.
Questions about whether the Pentagon is deploying special forces to the Middle East.
The news you depend on.
Gas prices up 25 cents in the last week.
Conversation.
Then all of a sudden, Trump comes out, hey, we're having productive talks.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM. Streaming everywhere on the KIRO News Radio app.
Step inside and let the excitement take you places. This is Muckleshoot Casino Resort, the ultimate spot for action that reaches incredible heights, luxury that knows no bounds, and live entertainment that always thrills. It's all at one incredible destination. So when you look for the best, look nowhere else. Muckleshoot Casino Resort, the biggest and best in the Northwest. Muckleshoot.
Every day across Washington, students stay after school for sports, clubs, and tutoring. Many do so on empty stomachs. Food insecurity is at crisis levels, threatening learning and performance. Safeway and the Champions of Change program, Nourishing Champions, offers grants for after-school meal programs. But the deadline is April 1st. Schools, please learn more and apply by April 1st at championsofchangefoundation.org and click Nourishing Champions. That's championsofchangefoundation.org and click Nourishing Champions.
Looking for even more Seahawks content? Subscribe to The Reset, the podcast with me, G. Scott, and Seahawks great Brandon Mebane. New episodes are out every Monday and Thursday on YouTube or subscribe on the Seattle Sports app.
Remember that time we were driving through France and for some reason we didn't have GPS?
Oh, for some reason? That reason would be that you didn't plug your phone in because you didn't have a charger.
Yeah, because I let you borrow my phone so you could call your mother and you're on the phone for like 30 minutes telling her where we are. But that aside, we didn't know where we were going. We did fight a little bit because we didn't know where we were going. I think that Longevity Medical Clinic is like the GPS for us. They tell us which turns to make. They tell us which directions to go, right?
They do. And now I feel like the two of us together have a clear path and we have more control over our own health care.
Right, exactly. So you don't have to get out of the car and try to find information somewhere. It's all right there. As you're aging, all the little sort of turns you have to make in order to be able to have lots of energy and to enjoy your life. So for as far as I'm concerned, Longevity Medical Clinic is our GPS. Do what Nick and I have done. Take a free health analysis at lmclinic.com. That's lmclinic.com.
This is Chris Davis with the Davis Law Group. Did you know that a pedestrian does not have to be crossing the street on a marked crosswalk to have a successful legal claim against the driver? Pedestrians can even be partially at fault for a collision and still have a valuable claim. Call us today for a free consultation or get my free book on pedestrian accident law at washingtonaccidentbooks.com. That's Davis Law Group, better service and even better results.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
Yikey Wawa.
What?
My hot water.
Yeah?
Not so hot.
Water heater trouble?
It's not working.
We can fix that.
This week?
How about today?
Apollo Plumbing really is ready right now.
Especially when it comes to water heater replacement.
Think I need a new one?
Is it more than 10 years old?
It is.
Probably so.
Doesn't heat like it used to.
It runs out?
All the time.
That's a warning sign.
Uh-oh.
So are little leaks.
But Apollo can get me a new one?
Installed today by our clean screen trained and trusted plumbers. They're water heater experts.
But I probably got to pay a rush fee.
No extra charge.
You make this too easy.
We'll even haul off the old one.
A new water heater.
Same day. That's the Apollo Plumbing way.
This is going to get my budget in hot water.
Got you covered there too.
How?
Our available payment plans.
I don't have to wait?
Or take cold showers.
You are a lifesaver.
Call us this morning. You'll have hot water today.
That's the Apollo Plumbing way.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
Have something to say? We'd love to hear it. Text KIRO News Radio at 888-973-KIRO. That's 888-973-5476. Powered by Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
With Aetna, I always get a quick answer, and I don't have to search on the internet. They go above and beyond to help me with whatever I need.
Those words from a real Aetna Medicare Advantage member speak to why U.S. News & World Report named us a best Medicare Advantage company. Because we show up on calls with members and doctors' offices when requested. We show up with access to convenient care options. We show up for you. Because that's how healthier happens together. Member feedback has been edited for length and clarity.
The deadline for filing taxes is coming up. Donate your car to Cars for Kids for a 2026 tax deduction. Go to carsforkids.org today. That's cars with a K.
Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It's 7:30. Pierce County deputies arrested a man yesterday in Parkland for an alleged drive-by shooting on members of his own family with his 1-year-old child in the car. Family members say the 29-year-old suspect was under the influence of meth and had made death threats before the shooting. No one was hurt. Police tracked the man back to his home where Deputy Carly Capetto says
there were multiple points where he was holding his child and using them as a shield to prevent the deputies from arresting him or using any force against him.
The man eventually released the child to a family member and was arrested.
4 teenagers robbed at gunpoint, one of them shot in the chest for throwing water balloons. This happened February 28th. Pierce County prosecutors say the teens were driving around Tacoma throwing those water balloons at other cars. Adam Faber says one driver took offense.
These youth threw a water balloon at his car, and he reacted and pulled out a firearm.
Prosecutors say 31-year-old Majid Gueri, a convicted felon, faces multiple charges, including armed robbery and attempted murder.
Gas prices have hit a major milestone while the price for diesel is now at a record high for our state.
KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is here with the latest.
Yeah, listeners, and you all here in the studio, of course, many of you might remember the global oil crisis in the 1970s. Prices rose some 400%. We've got a couple of old photos from the 1970s up on our YouTube feed right now. I don't know if any of you remember this. You know, it was every single gas station everywhere in every block in the United States looked like this, just like a jam-packed, cars around the corner, people fighting for position to try to get in and get gas. It was crazy. Well, I bring that up because Patrick DeHaan with Gas Buddy told us this morning, globally in Asia, we are now seeing oil refineries, especially in China, closing because they have no oil to refine. California just closed 2 oil refineries as well. And here is where he says we are heading.
If this continues several more weeks and we don't see leadership doing anything, it's going to be more problematic than, even the Arab oil embargo back in the 70s.
Even more problematic than what we had back in the 1970s. That is scary. I filled up this morning on my way to work. My local station had diesel at $6.99 a gallon. The average for diesel across our state is $6.55 right now, according to AAA. The average price for low test gas in Washington is $5.30. The national average compared to us is $3.98. So, we obviously get hit hard for other reasons, but especially diesel prices. It's impacting farms. Dylan Honcoop with Save Family Farms tells me gas prices could drive, and he really is convinced we will see farms close shop. They will declare bankruptcy starting this summer and fall when the harvest starts. Remember, farmers in our state are already still feeling the impact from tariffs and labor shortages from last year. They're down, the ag industry, some $400 million. We're also hearing from grocery stores now locally being impacted. Mostly, delivery trucks, their diesel. Yusef Schulman and his family have owned Leshai Market for more than 75 years. He tells KIRO 7 TV gas prices keep forcing his suppliers to drive up costs.
150 plus price increases a week, if not more.
A week, and you're probably seeing that impact mostly on meat prices and produce. They always get hit first. Also, the more this keeps up, we're going to see more and more impact to families counting on a paycheck. They're going to start losing their jobs. The war in Iran is really driving these oil shortages. Oil prices are up today again, and gas prices will go up this weekend, DeHaan says. DeHaan and other analysts say unless and until there is a peace deal on Iran or some kind of agreement, it's just going to get really bad.
The two sides are completely, on the opposite end of the spectrum. I don't know that a deal is going to happen because Iran doesn't care to make one. The president is going to be under a lot of pressure from the continued rise in prices, and he's going to, he doesn't want to lose any face from this. So I could see how we're kind of at a de facto showdown here. Nobody wants to give in, and you and I are going to be paying more in the process.
Earlier this morning, I was a little tongue-in-cheek about oil prices until you hear from an analyst, experts who study the data and what's going on, and this is very sobering right now.
He's worried.
Luke Ducey reporting live. Time to check traffic. Here is Chris Sullivan.
And we've added a few more customers in a couple of key spots. But again, overall, our travel times are still good, and it's Friday light in most places. If you're going up the Renton S-curves, that's one of the spots where we do have a little bit of slowing from about the Maple Valley Highway on and off ramps up past SR 900. But overall, 25 minutes from Renton to Bellevue. That's a pretty good travel time. And behind that, the Valley Freeway is only 35 minutes total. Northbound I-5 seeing a lot more braking past the north end of Boeing Field and the West Seattle Bridge. Give yourself a little over 40 minutes from Federal Way to Seattle, but not by much. The other spot is southbound 5 right at Northgate. We're losing a couple more minutes there than we've seen most of the morning, up to about 45 minutes from Everett to Seattle, about 40 from Everett into Bellevue. So overall, not bad. The lake bridges are quiet. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
And our forecast, a beautiful way to wrap up the weekend. The sun is coming up. It's going to be partly sunny and 56 today. Tomorrow, a few more clouds, 55, but still peaks of sunshine. And then Sunday will stay cloudy. Should be dry for the bulk of the day. Some showers arrive in the afternoon. Right now in Seattle, it's partly cloudy and 39.
News matters. Experience counts. You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
And it's time for the 735 commentary. Last week, I wrote about the word homeless and what is hiding. About how, in many cases, these are actually open-air drug camps, not just people looking for work. About how a massive, largely unaccountable industry has been built around the word homeless. Contractors who write campaign checks to the politicians who fund their contracts. Politicians who set policies that generate more contracts. It's a perfect circle. Very good for everyone inside it, not so good for the people sleeping outside. This got your attention. The emails and texts started immediately, and they have not stopped. A listener on the text line said, I perfectly described what's called the homeless industrial complex. I got notes from people who said they felt seen for the first time, from people who are living this, from people who have been trying to say exactly this for years and couldn't get anyone to listen. Igor called my commentary homeless heresy, and to keep up the good work. Don wrote to say that the suffering caused by misguided homeless policy is just as real, whether the motivation is malicious or simply misguided. He says the results are likely worse than what most of us could generate from a lifetime of determined ill will. Lori asked me to keep holding the spending accountable. I intend to. But the responses that hit the hardest were the ones that pointed out what I missed. Andrea is a domestic violence survivor with a serious work injury. She lost her mobility, her housing, and her safety net in the same year. She ended up back in a home with family members she'd spent years trying to escape. She doesn't fit neatly into any of the three categories I described. She falls through every crack in the system. I've done stories featuring The More We Love. That's an organization that works specifically with women and children in situations like Andrea's, and I want to tell their story more fully in the weeks ahead. James flagged something worth looking into. He says affordable housing programs require proof of residency going back years, which can make it nearly impossible for someone who is actually homeless to qualify. If that's accurate, it's worth a much closer look. Tammy told me her friend was given a tiny home and is doing meth inside it. She said the community has a room where residents do their drugs. She thought tiny homes were drug-free. Not required to be. That's exactly what I was talking about. And Kevin. Kevin is from North Beacon Hill. He wrote to describe his neighborhood, the parks full of encampments, the open-air drug use and sales, the daycares and the schools nearby, the prostitutes, the pimps, the community group writing letters that go nowhere, how city leaders are ignoring him and his neighbors. Well, I went out to Kevin's neighborhood this week. I talked to him. I talked to the drug addicts living there. I walked through the fentanyl smoke. That report airs early next week. I think we're going to play it on Tuesday. You will want to hear it. Here's what all these responses tell me. People aren't confused about this. They see it clearly. They've been seeing it for years. They just haven't had anyone reflect it back to them without flinching. Homeless heresy. Around here, maybe it is. We've spent billions. More people than ever are still sleeping outside. The people like Ben who just need a hand up can't get one. And me suggesting that what we're doing clearly isn't working is apparently the most controversial thing you can say to leaders in this city. Well, I'm not done with this story. Not even close. That's the 7:35 commentary for Friday, March 28th, 2026. You can text your thoughts to the Muckleshoot Casino and Resort text line at 888-973-5476. You can also leave a comment at mynorthwest.com.
It's now 7:40. Well, the first player in Seattle Mariners history received the honor of kicking off the franchise's 50th season. Coming out to big cheers. Rupert Jones, the Mariners' first pick in the 1976 expansion draft, threw out the ceremonial first pitch. In case you missed it, he threw it out to former Mariners first baseman David Segui. Jones spent 3 seasons with the M's from 1977 to 79, earning the first All-Star nod in team history in 1977.
One half of a soft rock duo has died. Here's CBS's Deborah Rodriguez.
Summer breeze makes me feel fine.
Dash Crofts formed Seals and Crofts with Jim Seals in 1969. They had several hits before their 1972 chart topper, Summer Breeze, which peaked at number 6 on the Billboard Hot 100. Both Seals and Crofts adhered to the Baha'i faith and included references and passages in their songs. Dash Crofts was 87. Jim Seals died in 2022. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
It's 7:41. Mr. Sullivan, what's coming up in traffic?
Well, we're going to take a look at the limited slowing across the board. The biggest issue getting into downtown on northbound 5. We'll break it down next.
The NBA takes its biggest step yet to bringing the Sonics back to Seattle.
The NBA Board of Governors has officially greenlit a deeper look at expansion to Seattle.
KIRO Newsradio's Luke Ducey has been following this.
Amanda, what a huge story for the city.
Speculation is that it's going to be 28-29 that season.
Stay plugged into the very latest at mynorthwest.com.
I'm super excited for the jobs, the restaurants.
And KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
We are on a magic carpet ride.
Come in now during the Subaru A Lot to Love event at Carter Subaru, Seattle's only Subaru dealership. With over 700 Subarus in stock, Carter Subaru has great hybrid and electric options like the Crosstrek and Forester hybrids now in stock, as well as the all-electric 2026 Solterra with 0% APR for 72 months. Carter Subaru in Shoreline and Ballard, or anytime at cartersubaru.com.
On approved credit, subject to vehicle insurance and availability. A documentary service fee may be added to the sale price or capitalized cost. See dealer for details. Valid through 3/31/26.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo.
Your best source for local news.
Newly released police video shows the arrest of a 17-year-old.
KIRO Newsradio.
Home is more than a place to live. It's where the best of life unfolds, where possibility sparks, where community grows, where lives take shape. At the Master Builders Association of King and Snohomish Counties, that belief drives the work our builders, remodelers, and tradespeople do every day. Because when we build more homes, we're building so much more than housing. We're making room for what matters most. Learn more at roomforwhatmatters.com.
7:43 now. Let's check in with Sully for traffic.
It is Friday light across the board. There are just some pockets where we do hit the brakes in any, legitimate way. We're looking at northbound I-5 having one of those spots right at the north end of Boeing Field with all the weaving and merging there as we approach the West Seattle Bridge. But overall, if you have a 40-minute trip from Federal Way to Seattle, maybe 42, that's a pretty good day. Renton to Bellevue, the S-curves are active, but if you have 25 minutes to Bellevue, that is also a very positive day. Coming up from the Valley Freeway, Puyallup to Renton, 40 minutes or less. Olympia to Tacoma, starting to see a little braking in South Tacoma. There's a little eastbound slowing of around past Cheney Stadium on eastbound 16 up to Hill to 18. Really not that big of a deal across the lake. No problems. And coming down from the north end, definitely a lot more braking getting into Northgate. 45 minutes from Everett into Seattle. A little over 40 now from Everett into Bellevue. But other than that, we're okay. This report brought to you by Heritage Homecraft. Heritage Homecraft will transform your kitchen in about a week. Way less mess, time, and expense than a tear out. Call them today, and Heritage Homecraft will pay your sales tax. 425-485-1600.
Partly sunny for your Friday. Will warm up to about 56, much like yesterday. Just gorgeous. For tomorrow, mostly cloudy, but some peaks of sunshine, 55, and then the clouds are here to stay on Sunday and some rain moving in by afternoon. It's 39 in Seattle right now.
Sully, you have a choke point coming up.
Yeah, I'm going to take you on a magic train ride across Lake Washington. Light rail service begins tomorrow.
When it comes to financial planning, women often face different realities. For some, years were spent caregiving or raising children. Others were growing careers. Yet so often, investments and tax decisions were set aside or handled by someone else. And statistically, women live longer. Over the next 20 years, trillions will transfer to women, only after the loss of a spouse. And suddenly, they're expected to make these complex decisions alone. That's why I created Growing Her Wealth. I'm Danielle Meister, a wealth advisor at Madrona Financial and CPAs. This initiative was built to empower women and integrate investments, tax strategy, and estate planning all under one roof. This is for men as well, husbands and wives, to ensure a coordinated long-term plan. It's about elevating family stewardship. If you or someone you love wants thoughtful guidance in a professional, supportive environment, join me at an upcoming seminar or webinar. Visit growingherwealth.com to reserve your seat today. Growing Her Wealth, financial confidence on your terms.
Madrona Financial Services is an SEC registered investment advisor.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is, if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit revivemenshealth.com.
I'm their conduit, and I'm glad to do it.
Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Hey, oh, let's go.
Now, Chokepoints with Chris Sullivan.
Presented by Carter Subaru.
6 years late, but light rail service across Lake Washington is set to begin tomorrow, creating a truly regional public transportation system.
And Sully, you were one of the first to ride. What'd you think?
It's pretty cool. I'm not going to lie. Going across the lake is pretty cool. But there are some issues that we need to talk about going forward. But, there couldn't have been a better day to get across the lake. I mean, the views during a sunny day on I-90 were amazing. You got the top of the Seattle skyline. You got Mount Rainier. It wasn't out as much as I'd like when I went there, but later in the day, I mean, it's full views of that. The Bellevue skyline, incredible views of the lake. On our YouTube live feed, you can see I shot some video, snuck right up into the right into the operator's chair, crowd him a little bit, got some basically some first eye POV there, so that's pretty good. Now, I hadn't been on those tracks in 8 years, and that felt like multiple lifetimes ago. There was so much anticipation in 2018 as I toured the construction zone, as the tracks were being laid. Light rail to the east side was just a few years away. And then came the bad news. The news that the concrete plinths, the supports that support the tracks, were bad. Not just some of them, but all of them. And all of the track that they had laid had to come out. That was a very bad day for King County Council member and Sound Transit Board member Claudia Balducci.
There were many days on this project when I wondered whether we were going to get to the end. That was one of them, but the trick was to just never quit. We never quit. The construction team never quit. The contractors never quit. We worked through everything. And now we have a system that I feel very confident about, that it's safe, that it works.
But the tracks are down today. Service starts tomorrow. Opening light rail to the east side will be a game changer. Better late than never. Here's Sound Transit CEO Dow Constantine.
This is the most challenging project we have ever built or that we will ever have to build. And there were, in fact, some challenges. Contractor really struggled with some of the infrastructure on the bridge, had to redo some of it, and that slowed us down a little bit.
For perspective, this is the first time in human history that somebody has put train tracks on a floating bridge. And through all the problems, service is here now.
The fact is that we got it done. We're delivering it, and it is going to be a remarkable asset for the people here for generations to come.
I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little nervous as the train transitioned from Mercer Island to the floating bridge. A little jostle is all there was. Cheers, and here's to you from the engineers who pulled this off. It's really spectacular. But amongst all, with all this celebration, and we should celebrate, Sound Transit does continue to face massive challenges as it looks to finish the projects it promised voters in ST3 in 2016. Let's not forget, getting across the lake, that was ST2. The $54 billion ask in 2016 was in exchange for light rail to Everett, Tacoma, West Seattle, and Ballard. Those projects now face a $34 billion budget hole going forward. The choices ahead are not easy. Trim the lines, remove the stations, maybe not even getting to West Seattle or Ballard. So I asked Constantine point blank if there is a world in which he can think where Sound Transit doesn't deliver on those locations.
No, there's no world in which we don't end up with Ballard or West Seattle or Tacoma or Everett. We are committed to getting those things done. That doesn't mean they're easy. It means you have more work to do to figure out how to get to each stage of that construction. But we are going to get it done.
That is the message from the CEO. It sounds like damn to torpedoes, whatever it costs or whatever it takes, they're going to get to what they promised to those voters, no matter what that means to our dollars and cents here in the taxing district in Snohomish, Pierce, and King counties. I asked board member Balducci about the same thing, and she agrees.
You can't give up. You have to push through. There are going to be problems that we know about and problems that we do not predict today. There's something ahead of us that we don't know yet that's coming. But we do know that if we are committed and we keep going and we work together and we're smart, we will prevail. And so that is how I feel.
Sound Transit has made it through the storm to deliver light rail service to East Side. We should celebrate that. Like I said, this is a big deal for our region. But we cannot forget that the next storm is coming, and there is a line of storms coming. Sound Transit has made a promise. It has a promise it has to keep. The question is, how are they going to keep it?
Do you want to rail on it first, or can
Light rail on it?
I'm going to accentuate the positive. I'm absolutely mesmerized by your video. I used to live in Issaquah. I've driven that bridge 1 billion times. To see it from a new perspective is really cool.
Well, don't forget, you used to see it when you were in the express lanes driving, because that was the view.
But you're driving, and you have to focus on the driving,
but it is
right?
Yeah, I mean, it is. I mean, you look at the front. Now, normally, this is a view you're not going to get during your trip.
Yeah.
Because, Charlie, I'm looking at your face. Because, that's over the operator's head. Side views are great. But, and Celebrate, I mean, it is beautiful. But, at some point, we got to face reality, and that's what Charlie's looking at and going, Chris, stop going over. Stop looking over here. Look over here.
Just trying to be positive.
I know, I'm with you.
I know, but this is $34.5 billion we're talking about. $10,000 for every man, woman, and child in the Sound Transit taxing area district. So they're saying there's no scenario in which these don't get built. So, okay, this is what they intend on doing. It's interesting. We had, just some of the doublespeak earlier, too, about this light rail extension is coming in early. Did they try to say any of that this week?
No, fortunately, because I was ready to jump on Dow if he had said that. Now, obviously, when they opened a Federal Way, he said, it's great, we're opening this thing ahead of schedule. No, that project was more than a year late. Well, yeah, but we moved the date, and then we opened early from that date. They did that again with the Redmond extension when they got, we're opening, it's going to open in June. Oh, now it's going to open in March, so it's ahead of schedule. Well, no, it really isn't. And again, Sound Transit, if you're new to the area and you really don't know the history, Sound Transit's been around since before 2000, and they just wiped the first 10 years of their history off the map. They just said 1996 to 2006 didn't exist, and $10 billion of our taxpayer money, and they just started over. And so their schedule starts in 2006, but they started collecting money in 96. And we cannot lose sight of this agency has been very bad at taking care of our public dollars.
Just real quick, life jackets.
Oh, you're giving away my story for next week. Not required, not necessary.
But available.
And the seats, no. Seats are not flotation devices. Oh. We can go over that next week. Someone had asked me about that, but no, not required. If you want to bring a couple of water wings just in case. No, after riding over it, I was a little nervous, but no, it seems solid.
Okay.
Let's see what happens when the wind starts blowing.
All right, running out of time. How's the traffic?
Traffic's not bad. It's a Friday light across the board. We do have heavy braking here and there in a couple places. The worst of it now is southbound I-5 as you make your way into the Northgate area. 45 minutes to make the trip from Everett to Seattle. About 42 from Everett to Bellevue. A lot more yellow on the map coming out of Canyon Park, though it is heavy right around 195th and Beardsley. Valley Freeway, 42 minutes from end to end, and then about 25 to 28 to get you from Renton to Bellevue. Federal Way to Seattle's under 45. The Lake Bridges, which we were just talking about, are in great shape. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
We're going to wrap up the week with partly sunny skies. 56, a very pleasant day. Tomorrow looks pretty much the same. You might see a few more clouds. And then Sunday, staying cloudy with some rain moving in by afternoon. It's 38 and partly sunny in Seattle now.
Well, it's a big day for our consumer man. Herb Weisbaum will stop by to celebrate 45 years of covering consumer concerns. He will join us at 8:15 right here on Seattle's Morning News.
KIRO Newsradio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
ICE agents have now been deployed to 14 airports across the country.
Traffic.
Did they open lanes?
They just reopened all lanes of northbound I-5.
Engaging conversation.
If he ends this right now, it only emboldens Iran. That's a big, big mistake.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
A one-hander! JSN!
Always here, always with you. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM. KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
You know the one question that guys hate to have asked of them by their wives, Nick?
I can take a good guess.
I know you know 100 of them. This is the worst one. Do these jeans make my butt look big?
Whoa.
Can't answer that one, right? What I've noticed is whenever you ask me questions like that, I just simply say, I don't know. What did the doctors at Longevity Medical Clinic say?
Well, the doctors at Longevity Medical Clinic would tell me that my butt looks great in those jeans now that my hormones are balanced
balanced.
What'd they do? Did they give you something to bring your weight down?
No, just a result of having my hormones balanced caused me to lose weight. Who would have known? I had no idea that would be a result of it.
So that's good. So the answer is you look great. You're beautiful.
I feel great. I look great.
Yeah.
And I know it.
I've also noticed that your testosterone makes you a little feistier than you normally are as my beautiful Greek wife.
I might be small, but I have a loud bark.
Yes, you do. Do what Nick and I have done. Take a free health analysis at longevitymedicalclinic.com.
My perfect day has sand, salt water, and friends. But my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can take me out of the moment. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, most people saw 90% clearer skin, and many were even 100% plaque-free at 4 months. Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
The G and Ursula Show.
There's 2 types of people. One's that use a washcloth. The other are bare hand bandits.
Hate to break it to you, but
Ursula, you a bare hand bandit?
Weekdays 9 to noon. Watch live on YouTube.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-8157. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-8157. That's 800-575-8157. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Thanks for calling CM Heating.
Aren't you the company that gives away free furnaces?
That's us. Buy a qualifying high-efficiency cooling system and the furnace is free.
Wow.
Yeah, and our home comfort advisors are tax credit and rebate specialists, so they'll handle the rebate for you.
Go to CM Heating for better comfort, lower bills, and a free furnace you'll love for years. Get your free estimate for furnace replacement at cmheating.com. And remember, for furnaces, fireplaces, hot water, and total home comfort, including electrical, there's no beating CM Heating.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM, and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Steve Kathan. The House today will consider a bill that passed the Senate in the middle of the night that funds TSA and other Homeland Security agencies, but not ICE. CBS's Torian Small in Washington.
Democrats remain committed to not funding ICE. That was the biggest leverage point for Democrats in this discussion, that they would be considering funding the agency if they could be a part of negotiations to change how it operates when it comes to immigration enforcement. We saw some glimmers of hope when it came to those negotiations when Border Czar Tom Homan spoke with lawmakers on the Hill last week.
If it manages to get through, it could mean relief soon for jammed airport security lines. But for now, it's the situation the same. CBS's Jason Allen at Bush Airport, where waits for screening have been hours long.
There may be a breakthrough. That does nothing to help you if you're flying out of Houston this morning. Houston's airport's been operating at less than half of their 37 checkpoints, depending on what staffing is day to day. And that's even with an additional 30-plus TSA officers who have been surged here.
President Trump's extended the deadline for Iran to open the Strait of Hormuz or face attacks on power plants. For another 10 days, that extension goes. CBS's Chris Livesay in Dubai reports Iran is showing no signs of giving in.
There are reports that it is fortifying its positions on Harger Island, that is that critical oil depot right off of its coast, making all of the signs that they simply do not trust the Trump administration and that they're preparing for some kind of a military invasion.
Israel has launched a new wave of strikes and says its attacks on Iran will escalate and expand. Secretary of State Rubio is headed overseas for discussions with NATO allies. CBS's Aaron Navarro tells us the Strait of Hormuz is a key talking point.
He told reporters before leaving for his trip that European countries should take action with the strait if they want it reopened, noting that they're the ones that rely on oil that goes through that strait.
There were several arrests yesterday after disorder and violence broke out after a Major League Baseball game.
The Cincinnati Reds opening day baseball game turned into a brawl game. Several people were arrested after disorder and violence broke out outside the team's ballpark after the game.
Go! Hey! Don't let him leave! Do not leave! Stay here!
It's unclear whether anyone was hurt in the chaos. The Reds lost their opening day game, shut out by the Boston Red Sox 3-0. Jim Crisula, CBS News.
In Vermont, Dean Roy has secured a spot on the ballot running for governor. He's 14 years old. Vermont's constitution sets no minimum age for candidates for governor. Wall Street, the Dow is down 340. This is CBS News.
The stars shine brighter on CBS Morning.
This is a slam dunk.
So cute. Gail came in singing for me today.
On CBS Mornings.
It's 8:03 Friday morning. Let's check in with Chris Sullivan for traffic.
And we are looking at a pretty good drive across the board. The red that we do have on the map is manageable. The most of it is right on the I-5 corridor, both north and south. Southbound is the worst, getting into the Northgate area from about 130th on in, not backed up to 145th today. So it's about 42, 45 minutes from Everett to Seattle. About 42 to 45 as well from Everett to Bellevue. We do have heavier brake lights now through Beardsley tying into 522. But after that, it's a good drive. Federal Way to Seattle, we are looking at the heavy brake lights there past the West Seattle Bridge into downtown. And then Federal Way to Seattle overall is about 40 minutes. Under 40 from Puyallup to Renton. Renton to Bellevue is only 25. Lake bridges are still good. Olympia to Tacoma's got no problems. I am looking for a new crash, however, down in the Parkland area as you work over to South Hill on eastbound 512, kind of approaching Canyon. I'll have more for you on that in 10 minutes. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
8:04 on the Friday, March 27th, 2026 edition of Seattle's Morning News. I'm Charlie Harger with Manda Factor.
There are serious questions emerging about a 26-year-old man accused of trying to push a stranger in front of an approaching light rail train.
Court records show 4 years ago he faced separate criminal charges but was found mentally unfit to stand trial and was later released back into the community.
We get more on this live from KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey.
And there is a surveillance photo that has been released in charging documents, court papers about this. We want to take a look at this, especially if you're looking on our YouTube feed this morning. This is at the Northgate station just last week. I mean, I think the photo speaks for itself, really. It shows the victim minding his own business, just kind of standing there waiting for the train to come on the platform, facing the tracks about 4 feet away or so. There is a train arriving clearly at the station, and it appears to show the suspect, Eliseo Melendez, arms extended right there in that photo, pushing the victim from behind. Deputies say the suspect then ran off, and later they found him at a nearby mental health home, I should say. The victim is okay, thank goodness, but here are the charging documents from back in 2019 where prosecutors charged Melendez with second-degree assault in a domestic violence case. He was deemed not competent to stand trial back then, was civilly committed to Western State, and after treatment, about 3 years later, the State Department of Social and Health Services released him. Prosecutors seem to be trying to get in front of this. So they sent an email to us and other media outlets explaining because Melendez was deemed unfit to stand trial back then for that case and not restorable back then, a judge dismissed that domestic violence case. Well, he apparently has been restored or was restored by DSHS and now faces new charges of attempted second-degree murder. He's being held on $750,000 bail. He's scheduled to be arraigned next Tuesday. I mean, the photo is still up there on our YouTube feed. That's scary. That is really scary to look at.
Let's stay on top of this one, Luke. Thank you. It's 8:06.
A childhood prank led to gunfire in Tacoma and an attempted murder charge.
Pierce County prosecutors say 4 teens were doing what teens have done for years, throwing water balloons, this time from car to car on February 28th. One driver took offense, followed the teens, blocked them in, pulled a gun, robbed them, and shot one of them in the chest. Adam Faber says 31-year-old Mashi Gueri, a convicted felon, faces multiple charges.
Attempted murder, 4 counts of felony harassment, threats to kill, 1 count of assault, and 4 counts of robbery.
Fortunately, the injured teen will survive. James Lynch, KIRO Newsradio.
Gas prices remain high, and we have hit a major milestone. Here's KIRO 7 TV's Lindsay Sheldon.
According to AAA, state average is still $5.30 a gallon. We've been tracking this all week. Prices are almost $1 more than last month. Meanwhile, today sets another new record in the state of Washington for most expensive diesel prices. Yeah, the average for a gallon of diesel is now up to $6.55 as of this morning.
Record high for a gallon of regular is $5.55, set back in 2022 during the beginning of the Russia-Ukraine war.
Keeping you informed since 1974.
This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO Newsradio.
Hey, Sully.
Yeah.
Where are you going?
Funky Town.
Oh, my goodness. It's Friday. Thanks for being with us here on Seattle's Morning News. It's 8:08.
One of the things I've been thinking about lately, Nick, as you pick this music, do you think this is the music we were listening to like it was new in high school?
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I like to bring back the memories because, man, I remember I played Do the Hustle. She said she hadn't heard that in like 27 years.
Yeah.
So
Now, I believe
bringing it back.
Lips Incorporated came out with this, was like 83, 84, so I would have been in high school.
I had a little 45. I can't remember what the B-side was, but I had the little record.
I was...
Flavor Town. Oh, sorry, Guy Fieri.
Anywho, we digress. Nick Kreisha is the best at his job picking all the cool music. Producer David Burbank is with us in the studio as well.
Of course, we have Jillian Raftery out in the newsroom helping us keep on track of the news. And coming up, consumer man Herb Weisbaum takes a look back at 45 years of reporting on consumer issues. He'll join us live in the studio for a special edition of our weekly segment with him.
And KIRO News Radio's Paul Holden has your weekend planner.
It's 8:09. The superintendent of the Skykomish School District is on leave now. It follows the recent arrest of a teacher who's accused of sexual assault on a young student. KIRO 7's Jason Sloss reports.
As former Skykomish PE teacher Daniel Bubar sits in jail, Skykomish School District Superintendent Dr. Destry Jones is now on leave. Parents say they are also furious with Superintendent Jones, saying he needs to answer for how Bubar's crimes were allowed to go on. Meanwhile, we're told many parents have yanked their kids out of the school and will not let them go back until Jones is gone for good.
As for the 62-year-old Bubar, he pleaded not guilty last week to multiple charges.
A new state law bans law enforcement officers from hiding their faces, but federal immigration agents appear to be ignoring it. King 5 obtained a video of ICE agents wearing face masks during arrests in White Center and Burien over the last couple of days. The state law took effect less than 2 weeks ago. It specifically includes federal agents. It was passed after previous incidents where masked ICE agents made arrests in Western Washington, raising concerns about transparency.
Seattle's mayor is trying to ease concerns about federal immigration agents at the upcoming World Cup. The Center Square reports Mayor Katie Wilson told the city's tourism community that Homeland Security will be present, but focused on security, not immigration raids. She says she doesn't expect ICE agents to use the massive event to make arrests. Seattle is expecting a massive influx of international tourists when the games kick off this summer.
The city is testing out new crowd control measures at Pike Place Market before the World Cup kicks off. Como News reports temporary planters, posts, and mobile barricades could be installed at the market's entrance as soon as April. The city says it wants to test the setup and collect data now, so they're ready when hundreds of thousands of soccer fans descend on Seattle.
Well, opening day hype was buzzing all over Seattle and continued right up to the first pitch at T-Mobile Park last night. The M's unveiled their 2025 American League West Champions banner in a special pregame ceremony.
Seattle
2025 was the deepest playoff run in franchise history. First time in years the team actually made the postseason. The Mariners won the AL West in 1995, 97, and 2001.
Well, that may have been the most anticipated opening day in Mariners history. Sadly, it didn't end with a win.
Smith looks in. Here's the stretch, and the next off for the way. Swinging a line drive to the shortstop and making the catch. Arias, shoestring catch up the middle, and the ball game is over. The Guardians win the opening game of the 2026 season here in Seattle. A final score of 6-4.
The good thing about baseball is you can still win the series as they have another shot at it tonight.
161 games to go. In one of those games is going to be September 9th. It's going to be a busy day in Soto. The Mariners announced they're moving their game day to an afternoon start. It's to make way for the Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks, who are hosting the NFL season opener that night at Lumen Field, apparently. By shifting to the afternoon, the Mariners are hoping to avoid a logistical nightmare for fans of both teams. Sully, why did I say apparently?
Well, because the Sounders have a match that same night at Lumen Field at 7:30.
That's not going to happen.
Probably not going to happen. I'm not sure where they're going to end up playing that game. I'm sure they could find some place to do it. But yeah, that's going to have to change too. But I mean, that's September's a ways away. So, but they'll have to figure that out too.
All right. Time to get a check on the weather now. And it looks like today it's going to be really nice. Sunshine, maybe a few clouds, a high of 56 in Seattle. Tomorrow, more clouds, but also sun breaks, 55. Sunday, cloudy during the day. By the afternoon, there's a chance of rain, but mostly dry this weekend until you get on the back half of Sunday. Right now in Seattle, we have partly sunny skies, and it's 40 degrees.
And it's 8:13. That's time for traffic. We do that every 10 minutes. So what's new, Sully?
Well, I'm still looking to try to find this crash. It's in between my cameras on eastbound 512 as you try to work your way out of Parkland over towards South Hill. It got pretty heavy right there as you approached Canyon. It's starting to dissipate a little bit, so it doesn't appear to be something huge. But if you're in that area, give me a call, or give me a call. Text me on the text line. Again, passenger text, voice to text. Don't you do it while driving. Let me know when you see where you get to your destination. Rest of the map looks really good. If you're in the Puyallup area, heading through Sumner up to the Renton area, Valley Freeway's under 40 minutes. Renton to Bellevue, not bad at all, about 22. Olympia to Tacoma, you really don't hit the brakes until you're kind of in JBLM, and just a little, and again, a little in South Tacoma, and then really nothing until the north end of Boeing Field. So pretty good drive on the I-5 corridor, 40 minutes or less from Federal Way. Still have about 45 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue. Brake lights there are the usual variety. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
Bringing you Seattle's morning news since 1974, this is KIRO Newsradio.
Well, 8:14, 45 years ago this month, we had an intrepid young reporter from Syracuse, New York, headed west to make his new home in Seattle.
Herb Weisbaum started at KIRO Radio and TV in 1981 with a full head of dark brown hair and a desire to become a consumer crusader. So in the 1990s, Herb started covering the consumer beat for CBS News. With his wife, Deb, launched the biggest toy test in America, based right here in Seattle.
And Herb then spent a number of years on the Today Show, and now he's a contributing editor at checkbook.org and a weekly Friday guest here on Seattle's Morning News. Welcome, Herb.
Absolutely. Nice to be here. Thank you.
As I live and breathe,
Yes,
you're
ma'am.
actually here.
I know.
It's
I
nice
woke
to see
up
you in
really,
person.
really early today.
I know.
Caught myself shaving for the first time in 20 years. I was so
45
tired.
years, Herb. Congratulations.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Seriously, in this business, that is such a great run.
And still doing what
And
I
still
want to
doing
do.
it, yeah.
That's the point. I'm still able to help people and do what I want to do.
Are there some particular things that pop to mind when you think about what you've covered over the past 45 years?
Sure. My biggest honor to me is that we, KIRO, got past the lemon law in the state of Washington. We were one of the first states in the nation to have a lemon law for new cars, and that was because of the investigative reporting that KIRO TV did. Here is a picture for those who are watching it on YouTube, but that is Governor Booth Gardner signing the lemon law. He has a lemon in his hand, and he threw the lemon to me.
Okay.
And that is one of the pens that he signed the bill into law with, which I'm so proud of.
Great memory.
And the car dealers punished KIRO by canceling all their ads. So we lost a huge amount of money. And the management, God bless Bonneville, who's your management today, not
They
the
kept you?
management, they supported me. They said, you do what you're doing. Wouldn't happen in a lot of stations today, but they said, we're going to take the hit financially, and you do it. Also, I was sued for a story I did. I've been sued several times in my career. $550 million, this lawsuit. I won, by the way, all my lawsuits. And this is the coffee table book I have. This is the U.S. Court of Appeals decision throwing out the lawsuit. It took 8 years to make it to the U.S. Court of Appeals. We didn't even have depositions.
Look, there's your
That's
name
how long
on
it took. Yeah. So, yeah, versus the Suarez Corporation.
Well, there you go.
So, yeah.
Hey, how does it, by the way, let's back up, the lemon law, how does that work?
If for some reason you meet the qualifications of the lemon law, which is you have a lemon vehicle, that they have to pay you money or give you a new vehicle. And I know people have actually used it and gotten a new car. And it was because of the investigative reporting we did that people were buying cars, spending all this money, and the auto dealers were going, and the manufacturer, sorry, too bad, you bought it. And it's like, no, it should work. The car should work. It shouldn't be in the shop all the time. So that was a really big deal at that law. It's helped a lot of people.
I see you have brought in some more artifacts. That one looks quite old. What is that?
So when I started, there was no internet and there were no cell phones. Yay for both of those.
Yeah.
So we were doing a lot of mail order fraud at that point in time.
Oh.
So there's a whole series of ads in USA Today and other newspapers. Why are we giving something away?
Yeah.
So this is a watch for $2. You know why that was $2? Because the hands are painted on. It's 10 after 10 for the rest of your life. It's accurate 2 times a day, right? And
that's awesome.
And then this one.
What era? Is it 70s?
These are 80s, early 80s. And then this one here, there was a whole series of postcards. They were giving. The product was available for you in the warehouse, and this is a mini piano electric for $12.97. And what you got was a mini piano electronic, this little kid's toy, which we priced at 99 cents back then. And everything in the ad was true. It has a keyboard. It has a built-in speaker.
It's
it
about the
comes
size
in
of a credit card.
Yeah, about the size of a credit card.
That's but then the internet now. So back then the frauds were $5, $10, $100, maybe $1,000. Now I'm dealing with people who've lost tens of thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars, life savings because a criminal gets into their. I interviewed a woman yesterday from Seattle. She put $17,000 into a Bitcoin machine, ATM, because they convinced her she was going to be arrested if she didn't.
Yeah.
And she is never going to get it back again. So we were up against basically nickel and dime criminals back then. Now these are rings. These are criminal rings overseas. I saw a picture of one of the boiler rooms that they work out of, and it wasn't like there weren't boiler rooms with a lot of people when I first started. There were 3,000 computers set up in this boiler room in Myanmar before they shut it down. That's what we're up against. They're professional criminals who do this 8 hours a day and know how to push the buttons to make you not think and get scared, so you do things when you think about it in retrospect, you go, what did I do that for?
But I was going to just ask, when did you first realize on that vein as we made that technological change? I'm old enough, computers weren't, as I was going through college, the internet wasn't as when you realized, oh man, it's now phones, there's so many different ways to get you. I mean, when did you kind of have that day like, oh man, this is going to be bad?
It was a Thursday? No.
Oh, good. I was assuming
No. I actually did the first network story unveiling the word phishing scam. And I did it for the Today Show, and it was so new, they made me put the word on the screen.
Yeah.
So people would know it's PHISHING. And I still have the producer notes from the Today Show, and I was with Matt Lauer at the time, and it said, must have a laptop computer in his hand that is connected to the internet. That was like a big deal. Yeah. Wow, we're live on network TV with a laptop that's connected to the internet.
So phones, internet, and now AI.
AI. And AI is the absolute game changer.
Does it scare you?
Yes, it is the most powerful tool the criminals have ever had. They can do almost anything. All the rules, like look for typos or poor syntax or whatever, misspelling, that's all gone. They can tailor. They can use information stolen and all the data breaches, as we've talked about, all of our information out there to tailor the phishing attacks right to you and customize it with the AI. They can change it around the world. They do perfect Spanish, perfect English, perfect whatever. And also they can fake everything. I mean, if you go to my social media page, either Twitter or Facebook, I just put up a link to a video that this is all AI, what you're seeing. It looks like a newscaster doing the news, and you cannot tell. And I talked to a person in Seattle who's a cyber researcher, and she said her dad was caught up in a romance scam. and giving all this money to some woman overseas who wasn't a woman. And she said to him, Dad, how could you do this? And he said, well, I'm not stupid. I talked to her on Zoom. And it was like, what? And it's like, yeah, it was some guy probably in Nigeria that real-time rendering now with AI can make it a beautiful woman in America showing up on the other end of the screen. So you can't trust your eyes. You can't trust your ears anymore. It's a very crazy world to live in. It really is.
We have the White House, the Trump administration, rolling back a lot of regulations when it comes to consumer protections. We've talked about that here. How do you feel about that?
I feel it's horrible, and I feel the people that elected the current administration are being hurt in most cases by the rules that are being rolled back. I spent a week rewriting a whole bunch of stories that I reported for you guys before the administration started, saying, never mind, they undid this one, this doesn't protect you. You know, it's helping big business. Some of the ones dealing with credit cards and checks are going to help banks make billions of dollars a year on the backs of the average American. You know, I'm not anti-business. Broadcasting is a business. I'm not anti-business. But you can make money the right way, and you don't have to do it by ripping off people or scamming people, which is another thing I've noticed, by the way, is that good businesses, the trustworthy businesses, used to push it right up to the line, and now so many of them are over the line, and they're going, oh, how did that happen? It's a third party, or, with dark patterns on the web where the boxes are clicked or the fine print you can't read, and then they get a slap on the wrist. Oh, well, how did we do that? We'll never, look at the Amazon case with the Prime that was in the news recently. This is now a business model for so many companies that they cross the line, and if they get caught, say, we didn't realize it, we didn't mean it. And I think that's terrible. And the less regulation there is, the CFPB basically being gone and the FTC not doing what it used to do, we're all going to get hurt by that. We're going to be on our own much more than we were before.
Since that is the case, what can we do to protect ourselves?
Slow down. You have to absolutely slow down, be suspicious of everything. I'm sorry to say that, but you really don't take everything at face value. And remember that in the digital world, there is no undo button. So in the old days, I remember I was at KIRO and I did a story on an oil and gas well scam, and somebody called me up and said, I'm going to the mailbox and I have a check in there for $10,000 and I'm going to tear it up, or I'm going to stop payment on the check. If you type something in the computer and hit submit, there's no undo.
Yeah.
It is gone. It is gone.
By the way, just real quick, before we get to Trav, just to answer a question from Adam from Bonnie Lake, for those for younger people, why did they call it the lemon law?
Because a car was considered to be a lemon if it was a bad car.
No, but I mean, was it because if you ate a lemon, it was a bad taste in your? I'm assuming he wants to know how you came up with lemon.
Oh, I didn't come up with lemon, but lemon is just sour. So you got
so that's kind of what I was figuring. But he wanted
there was
to
an
know.
expression back then. There was an expression that you got stuck with a lemon. By the way, before I go, because I'm hoping you'll invite me back next week, but I can do it from home. I brought you guys treats, some little nothing bun cakes.
That was the first thing Sully asked. He was like, "Is he bringing food?"
And you'll have. And by the way, just go back. Charlie Harger at another radio station was my board op. A bazillion years ago. Amanda and I launched the all news radio format at another station across the street. So I've known these guys, are friends for years and years, and it's just great being with you every Friday.
45 years.
And Burbank's the best radio producer I've ever worked with, right, David?
Yes, he is.
He told me to say it. No, I'm just kidding. Sully told me to say that.
Check's in the mail.
How long are you going to do this, Herb?
As long as Checkbook keeps paying me. My doctor said it's better than doing crossword puzzles, keeping my brain sharp, working on this. And it's what I was here to help people. I just want to help people. As long as I can do that, I'm happy.
Congratulations.
I'm really happy. Thank you.
Thank you, Herb. 8:24. We need to get to traffic with Sully.
Want to know what subscription we're secretly doing by eating the bundt cake? Where's the fine print in that? Is that how you get us? That's how you get us.
I'm not responsible for the calories. That's what the fine print is.
Slow down, Sully.
I'm sorry, just having fun. You do a great job. You're such a hero of a lot of us growing up doing this biz, trying to keep people accountable. Looking at the northbound I-5 drive, not bad. 40 minutes or less. Under 40, y'all up to Renton, probably closer to 35. Renton to Bellevue is about 22, so that's not too bad. And coming down out of the north end, 40 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. Lake bridges continue to be in good shape, so we're enjoying a really, really good fast Friday. KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Our forecast, very nice, partly sunny for your Friday as we wrap up the week. 56 the high. Tomorrow looks pretty much the same, maybe a little bit less in the way of sunshine. And then Sunday, we're going to stay cloudy with some rain moving in by afternoon and a high of 51. It's 38 in Seattle right now.
Coming up, a look at the bleak forecast for gas prices if the war in Iran continues. We'll hear from Patrick DeHaan at Gas Buddy.
This is Seattle's Morning News.
The NBA takes its biggest step yet to bringing the Sonics back to Seattle.
The NBA Board of Governors has officially greenlit a deeper look at expansion to Seattle.
KIRO Newsradio's Luke Ducey has been following this.
Amanda, what a huge story for the city.
Speculation is that it's going to be 28-29 that season.
Stay plugged into the very latest at mynorthwest.com.
I'm super excited for the jobs, the restaurants.
And KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
We are on a magic carpet ride.
Every day across Washington, students stay after school for sports, clubs, and tutoring. Many do so on empty stomachs. Food insecurity is at crisis levels, threatening learning and performance. Safeway and the Champions of Change program, Nourishing Champions, offers grants for after-school meal programs. But the deadline is April 1st. Schools, please learn more and apply by April 1st at championsofchangefoundation.org and click Nourishing Champions. That's championsofchangefoundation.org and click Nourishing Champions.
Hi, I'm Chef Franklin Becker. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. There's only one FDA-approved Ozempic made by Novo Nordisk. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5, 1, and 2 milligrams.
There's no championship league for small business owners. But if there was, you'd be at the top of the standings. Because going pro with Lenovo Pro means you've got the winning formation, one-on-one advice, IT solutions, and customized hardware powered by Intel Core Ultra processors help you stay ahead of the competition. Business goes pro with Lenovo Pro. Sign up for free at lenovo.com/pro.
Lenovo. The G and Ursula Show.
If you want to see what I'm wearing today, check out Mrs. Roper.
Weekdays 9 to noon.
A muumuu is like a bank. You never know how much is in it.
On KIRO News Radio and the KIRO Newsradio app.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
You know, retirement is supposed to be a time of rest and relaxation. But every week I get calls from seniors who are stressed out because their cost of living keeps going up. They love their home and they want to stay in it, but they're struggling with rising property taxes, monthly bills, and monthly mortgage payments if they have one. Hi, I'm Steve Tytler, owner of Best Mortgage, a local family-owned company. I specialize in the reverse mortgage, which allows seniors to tap into your home equity for tax-free cash to pay off your mortgage, pay off debts, and maybe put some extra money in the bank. A reverse mortgage is a great option for some people, but it's not right for everyone. So give me a call and you'll talk directly to me in person or over the phone for honest advice you can trust. Search for Best Mortgage on the web or call us at 425-649-6000. You'll talk to me, not an AI robot. Best Mortgage, 425-649-6000.
Come in now during the Subaru A Lot to Love event at Carter Subaru, Seattle's only Subaru dealership. Carter Subaru also has the largest selection in our state with more than 700 Subarus in stock. If you've been thinking about a Forester, now's the best time. The 2026 Subaru Forester starts at just 0.9% financing. Carter Subaru in Shoreline and Ballard or anytime at cartersubaru.com.
On approved credit, subject to vehicle insurance and availability. A documentary service fee may be added to the sale price or copy
capitalized cost. See dealer for details. Valid through 3/31/26.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It is 8:30. Well, the price of diesel has now reached a record high in the state of Washington, while gas prices have now reached a major milestone.
This morning, national analyst with Gas Buddy tells us it will get worse before it gets better.
Great. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is here with the latest.
Yeah, I mean, we hate to say it, right? But Patrick DeHaan tells us this morning, whatever price that you see right now at your local pump, if you're filling up this morning, you're driving by a gas station, for me, it was $6.99 for diesel. You can expect to see those prices will go up even more this weekend. The average for diesel across the state is now $6.55 a gallon, according to AAA. The average for gas in Washington, low test, is $5.30. The national average, $3.98. If you're watching on our YouTube feed, and I did not tell David that I was going to do this, so he'll get it up in just a second. He's an ace at doing this,
Already
working on
did.
the fly. Look at him. He's so good. So many of you might remember the global oil crisis in the 1970s. Prices rose 400%. We're showing you photos of lines of cars, just like a traffic jam at gas stops. This was the gas station in every corner across the country for such a long time. Cars lined up to try to get gas. I just chatted with our very own Spike O'Neill in the newsroom because he remembers those days back then.
You would have odd days and even days when you were allowed to buy gas, buy your tag on your car. There were times, I remember numerous occasions, where I would park my car overnight in an already blocks-long gas line to save my space.
And if you tried to cut the line...
You think ferry line cutters get grief? Try cutting into a gas line for a country that is being rationed like it's wartime, basically.
So this is why I bring that up. Listen to this. DeHaan tells us today, right now in Asia, oil refineries are starting to shut down because they have no oil to refine. 25% of the world's oil supply is sitting there near the Strait of Hormuz, near Iran. California just closed 2 oil refineries. He says oil prices hinge on whether the Trump administration and Iran can come up with some sort of deal to end the war.
If this continues several more weeks and we don't see leadership doing anything, it's going to be more problematic than, even the Arab oil embargo back in the 70s.
So that is scary stuff right there. Just this week, Iran rejected Trump's 15-point plan for a deal to end the conflict. Dylan Hankoop with Save Family Farms tells us gas prices could drive many farms in our state to the brink of disaster by this summer and fall when in time for the harvest. And for grocery stores, you're probably seeing a spike on meat and produce. Those are 2 things that always get hit hardest first with price increases. Josef Schulman, who has owned Leshai Market for more than 75 years, he and his family, he tells KIRO 7 TV gas prices keep forcing his suppliers to drive up costs. But listen to this.
150 plus price increases a week. If not more.
More than 150 price increases a week. It is all so sobering right now. Again, whatever you're seeing at your local pump today, right now, look at it. According to analysts, that price is going to go up this weekend.
All right, and we'll have a complete interview with Patrick DeHaan coming up after we check traffic with Chris Sullivan.
And we are starting to see a little bit more congestion coming down from Linwood as people are kind of heading down our direction to get where they need to be by 9 a.m. One of the spots is south of Canyon Park down through 522. The other one is on 55 from about 130th on in. 45 minutes, though, from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue is really not a terrible drive based on what we've gotten used to. And in fact, this might be the first day in, I think, 3 weeks we have not hit the $15 max in the southbound express toll lane out of Linwood.
Whoa.
So in the morning commute. So that's certainly a positive development. That tells you weather's good and and the conditions are okay. The rest of the map looks really nice. We're 40 minutes Federal Way to Seattle, 35 Puyallup up to Renton, under 25 from Renton to Bellevue, and the lake bridges are nice and easy. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
It's a lovely Friday morning. We're going to see sunshine for the day, 56-hour high. A few more clouds build up tomorrow, and then Sunday, that's the day we expect the rain to return. Not until the afternoon, though, 51 on Sunday. Right now in Seattle, partly sunny and 38.
Seattle's morning news. Hear it live, stream it online, watch the show, or catch the podcast anytime. Seattle's morning news, wherever you are.
Well, another day, another near record price at the pump for us here in the state. $5 plus for gas across Washington. In a lot of spots, it's $7 plus for diesel. No end in sight.
All right, let's bring in Patrick DeHaan, head of petroleum analysis at Gas Buddy. We are grateful to have you again this morning. Yes, he did say $7 for diesel. Did you see that coming?
Probably not a few weeks ago. Certainly some surprises here in the stack as we uncover this. And I was just looking this morning, Seattle's now only 15 cents a gallon away from setting a new all-time record. 5.68 a gallon was that record level back in 2022. And this morning here, looking at live ticking data from Gas Buddy, Seattle's at about 5.53 for a gallon of gasoline. And I think, by this point, with everything going on, Trump extending the deadline for Iran, probably, solidifies that we probably will see a record for Seattle. It's just a matter of time.
Okay, so the inertia is there. And the diesel prices, we've been talking about this all week, Patrick. Now that we're in record territory, what are some of the effects that people are going to see?
Yeah, the next trip to the grocery store, everything. Diesel is the fuel that, powers much of the U.S. economy. And I probably said that last time, but it's hard to understate the impacts for diesel. Trains, tractors, trucks, all use diesel. And it's really going to be, a major impact. And you may not see it yet, right? You go to the grocery store and something might be 10 or 20 cents more expensive, but that's probably just the tip of the iceberg. I have a feeling that more of that is going to be felt in the weeks ahead. It doesn't happen overnight at the grocery store, but it will be passed along the longer that prices remain elevated. And that's my concern, is you'll start to see it show up in CPI data in another week or two, and it's only going to get worse.
Patrick, you posted on X that surging gas prices hit frequency first: fast food, convenience, entertainment. What does that mean exactly?
Yeah, it means motorists are going to start cutting back on discretionary spending. Impulse spending, going out to eat, seeing a fast food place and saying, well, we don't have the money for that because we spent it at the gas pump. So this is generally when we start to see people, $20 prepay does not get you as far. It might only buy you 3 or 4 gallons now. And when you don't have $20 in your pocket that's in your tank, you're probably less likely to go spend it somewhere else.
We're watching live ticker here of crude oil prices. Brent crude now 110.83. It is spiking again today. What does this mean?
Well, it means that you and I can look forward to more increasing prices at our local gas pump over the course of the weekend. And keep in mind, a lot of the decisions that the administration seems to be making, when it's escalatory, it's happening on the weekend. So I'm a little worried that, it does, President Trump has already loosened the timeline up another week. Iran is not going to give in. And now, quite visibly, they see that they're winning this because the president is extending the timeline. I could also see him losing patience in the days ahead if Iran doesn't make a deal, and that could re-escalate and reignite the situation, which could push oil up more dramatically next week. So, the market is parsing out that the two sides are completely, on the opposite end of the spectrum. I don't know that a deal is going to happen because Iran doesn't care to make one. The president is going to be under a lot of pressure from the continued rise in prices, and he's going to, he doesn't want to lose any face from this. So I could see how we're kind of at a de facto showdown here. Nobody wants to give in, and you and I are going to be paying more in the process.
Perusing your feed on X, it looks like you are worried. You've posted a lot of things, and you just said you are worried. What are you most worried about? Just price, or does it go farther than that?
Well, there's a lot of different things here. Aside from the situation in the Middle East, it looks like there's not really much of a cohesive plan on how to prevent the global economy from melting down. Look at oil is really what powers the global economy from gasoline, diesel, and jet fuel. Much of our lives around surrounds the consumption, the use of oil. And when oil prices spike so significantly, it's going to have a irreparable effect on the global economy. And so not just paying a little bit more, right? I can pay $1 more a gallon, but when you see these, you're starting to see physical shortages in areas like Asia. Chinese refineries are shutting off because there's not enough oil to refine. So now it's entering a different level. You and I can pay more, but it's starting to have major ripple effects beyond that. I'm seeing people warn of shortages. None of that is on tap for the United States yet. But it's happening overseas where the physical disruption now has drained a lot of storage tanks. And so, when oil is no longer available, when people can no longer, get to work, get to school overseas, it's starting to become a very large problem. And we're probably not seeing the tip of that because we're a little insulated from that. But if this continues, several more weeks and we don't see leadership doing anything, it's going to be more problematic than, even the Arab oil embargo back in the 70s.
That's quite the statement. Washington consistently among the highest gas prices in the nation. We have the carbon tax. We have among the highest fuel taxes in general in the country. Are those policies making us more vulnerable when we get a supply shock like this?
Not necessarily your supplies. The cap and invest program is something that consumers have to pay. So it's not necessarily throttling back, oil companies' investments. But it is going down a path that California has gone down. And now California is more susceptible to the global shocks. And partially now because of California's decisions, Washington is also impacted because 2 major refineries in California have decided to shut down and leave because the guardrails are so tight that the businesses, the refineries there can't operate in a way that serves their interests. It's now more serving California. And because those refineries have left, it's putting California in much higher risk, much higher prices because California is now relying more on Asia. And I just mentioned shortages that are happening in Asia. California is going to have to bid, at a higher level for a declining amount of refined products because they don't have enough refinery capacity of their own. So, and that's why California, by the way, $7.61 a gallon in some areas of the Bay Area for a gallon of diesel, because they're going to have to compete more for what's now produced overseas because they produce less of it on their own because refineries have said, we've had enough of this regulatory environment, we're out.
Patrick, usually I ask you for some good news, but I'll let you off the hook this Friday, okay?
No more bad news, at least, right?
Yeah. Patrick DeHaan, head of petroleum analysis at Gas Buddy. Thanks for your time. Have a great weekend.
We got a note from Dave and Graham. He owns a construction company, and he says all his trucks are diesel. He raises prices already to compensate, but he also raised them significantly when the Climate Commitment Act passed in the state. Everything construction related has risen in cost because of the CCA. So now you have the diesel as well. That's Dave there weighing in on the Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line.
How about a positive economic note? Booming back-to-back Seattle sports seasons have brought Pioneer Square businesses back from the brink. Danny Cohn owns Cohn and Steiner General Store and says they almost went under during the pandemic. Now?
It's just so great to see the neighborhood really kind of come alive again.
Farshid Varamini owns a Gantry Public House right by Lumen Fields.
I struggled to keep my staff employed from December through January because we have the couple of Seahawks games and there's nothing else. But this year was just definitely a blessing for everybody. Everyone's been working. It feels like we haven't had a day off. We right into the next season.
He tells KIRO 7 TV he's actually expanding now to serve the sports crowd by Climate Pledge Arena.
A former Spokane high school basketball player made one of the biggest shots of the men's college basketball tournament. Dylan Darling plays for St. John's and hit the game winner to send the Red Storm to the Sweet 16. His Central Valley High School coach spoke to KIRO 7 TV.
We start screaming, oh my God, my kids are out in the yard. They come running in. What's going on? What's going on? Did something happen with Dylan? And I was like, yeah, he literally just hit the game-winning shot. Like, unbelievable, at the buzzer.
Darling and St. John's play tomorrow night. They're the underdogs taking on number 1 seed Duke.
Good for them. It's 8:43. Time for a check on traffic. We do that every 10 minutes for you. And here's Chris Sullivan.
And watch out for a little stall that's blocking the right-hand lane or maybe getting off to the Gore Point on northbound I-5 right at the top of the Michigan curve. Not seeing a big backup behind it. Overall, we're running under 40 minutes from Federal Way to Seattle. Also running under 40 up the Valley Freeway, probably closer to 35. And then Renton to Bellevue is only 20 minutes to get you up into Bellevue. I mean, the brake lights are active in the S-curves, and then they kind of meander up past 44th, but more yellow than red on the map, so that's certainly positive. Out of the north end, 45 minutes or less from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. The brake lights there in the usual suspect locations. I'm looking to see if we might have a crash, though, on southbound 405, right at 522, maybe over on the right-hand shoulder. Lake bridges continue to be in very good shape, so all in all, we're doing really well today. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
Taking a look at the forecast, a nice day on tap with highs in the mid-50s. Tomorrow, we have a few more clouds than today. Again, highs in the low to mid-50s. Sunday is when clouds make a comeback and a chance of rain by the afternoon. Right now in Seattle, it's 41.
Hey, KIRO News Radio's Paul Holden is going to join us here shortly.
What?
You wonder why? Because it's Friday, for heaven's sakes, and he has your weekend planner coming up here on Seattle's Morning News.
Local news from local voices you trust.
Flights out of Joint Base Lewis McChord.
KIRO Newsradio.
Questions about whether the Pentagon is deploying special forces to the Middle East.
The news you depend on.
Gas prices up 25 cents in the last week.
Conversation.
Then all of a sudden, Trump comes out, hey, we're having productive talks.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM. Streaming everywhere on the KIRO Newsradio app.
Here's a tale of Linda trying to lose weight, but the med prices she found were all over the place.
Hidden fees and markups made her jaw drop low. Then she found Good RX. Now she's in the know.
GLP-1 subscriptions FDA approved.
With clear upfront pricing.
And same-day pickup.
That's Good RX, the no-nonsense way. Save time and money on prescriptions.
Get to goodrx.com/weight loss. GoodRx is not insurance.
Ready to free your team from time-consuming office tasks? Amazon Business empowers leaders with smart business buying tools, leaving time to focus on strategy and growth. Free up your teams and focus on your future at amazonbusiness.com.
Get 5 quarts of Syntec Full Synthetic and a MicroGuard Select Oil Filter for just $32.99 now at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Limit supply.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
High five. Up top.
Dave's company just got the 5-year price lock guarantee from Comcast Business.
Yeah!
It's 5 years of gig speed internet, advanced security, and a great rate that won't change. All from the company with 99.9% network reliability.
Heck yeah!
He hasn't given this many high fives since Deborah brought in her famous banana bread.
Yes!
The Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee. Powering 5 years of savings, powering possibilities.
And it's hurting, but I am not stopping. Woo!
For a limited time, now through March 29th, switch to Comcast Business to lock in your rate for 5 years and get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Or ask how to get started with 150 megabit internet and Security Edge for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Don't wait. Call today. Restrictions apply. New customers only. 1-year contract required for guaranteed rate. Paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account required. 5-year pricing applies to monthly service charge excluding taxes and fees.
Seattle's morning news. Hear it live. Stream it online. Watch the show or catch the podcast anytime. Seattle's morning news, wherever you are.
The landing gear is coming down. We are approaching final descent on this work week.
Yep, final moments on a Friday with Seattle's morning news. KIRO News Radio's Paul Holden is here. I have to applaud you and say, hope springs eternal. Most of us are tied right now.
Exactly.
You're wearing your Rockies garb.
I'm to the T here. We're ready to go. I was with the Mariners yesterday. Mm-hmm. I wasn't a good luck charm yesterday, but I will say my outfit from yesterday was undefeated through the playoffs when I wore it yesterday. So now hopefully we got to start over. But yes, my beloved Rockies actually get to start. They found out they didn't play yesterday because Miami was like, we don't think we can fill the ballpark on a Thursday.
Oh, my God.
Opening day. So they moved it to a Friday.
Already been insulted.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, it's opening day. Like we couldn't even get you that excited. Marlins Rockies is the series of the weekend.
I applaud you for being such a diehard fan.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. But that's not the only baseball, not the only thing going on this weekend. And actually, I think there's a pretty cool event going down here at the Washington State Fair and Event Center that I want to talk about. So let's hit the music and dive in here.
Uh-oh. We can't
It's
find your
Friday,
music.
yeah.
We've insulted
Saturday,
you again.
Sunday.
What?
What? I have good news for everyone that loves pop culture and especially grew up in the 80s and 90s. This weekend, you can find Edgar Martinez, the Pink Ranger, and Mark Summers all under the same roof.
Oh, and Ponch and John.
Yes, it's all.
No.
Yes.
Are you serious?
That got Sully's attention.
I got to wear the helmet you gave me. Really?
Yeah.
Where?
This is at the Washington State Fair and Event Center. It's called Rewind Washington, and it's one of these conventions that you've seen kind of pop up that's all about nostalgia. There's not necessarily one specific theme other than like, hey, do you remember all these things and people?
You can get your photo taken with your favorite stars from the 70s, Sully.
Ooh, is Catherine Bach going to be there?
There's a huge list.
Daisy Duke?
Yeah.
But TV shows, movies, cartoons, music, and then, some Mariners legends are going to be in the house, and Dennis Rodman also going to be in attendance.
Dennis Rodman?
Yeah. So I saw this, and I was like, that's a very a crazy group of characters there. Of course, vendors, all the usual convention fun.
Linda Carter?
The list goes on. I'm not sure. We'll have to see.
I'm flashing back in a big way.
I'm going to go look it up.
It's rewindwa.com if you want more details, and that's going on the Washington State Fair and Event Center. Hey, the weather looking pretty good, at least this weekend. Hopefully, the clouds don't move in. And up in Issaquah, they have the Spring into Adventure event. This is an event all about getting you outside and getting you ready for the spring. So they got a scavenger hunt, immersive art installation made from recycled materials, and plus a whole bunch of vendors whose goal is to help you get outside. So this is going on at Sunset Beach in Lake Sammamish State Park on Saturday from 10 to 1. Now, David, this was one I thought of. I thought of you when I thought of this one here, and this is the Emerald City Hoedown. And that means it's going to be all about line dancing, square dancing, group dances, over 40 hours of dancing this weekend. How much dancing could you do in one weekend, David?
You said 40 hours?
There's 40 hours.
Yeah, I could probably go for 40.
Yeah?
I would
the whole thing?
Oh, yeah, especially if I'm switching it up. I'm doing the electric slide. I'm doing all the square dances.
Yeah. Quick question. Does it include the lambada, the forbidden dance?
I didn't see any
at the
listed
very
there.
end, and then it's forbidden after that.
But if you're looking to do some boot scoot boogieing, that's going to be over at the Renaissance Seattle Hotel, and it's actually already underway. It started yesterday, actually, so this is going on throughout the weekend here. Hey, there's another Holly Festival going on, and this one is the Seattle Color Festival at the Seattle Center on Saturday afternoon. This is going to have food trucks, a DJ, and plenty of colored powder that you will need to buy. The event is free to attend itself, but if you want to get in on the color throwing, you will need to buy some powder there. But a reminder, wearing white, unless you want that shirt to turn in a bunch of colors, might not be the best idea if you're wearing clothes that you actually care if they get dirty. So make sure you bring some stuff that is going on there, or that's going to get dirty and messy. And then, of course, Mariners, they are in town all weekend long, taking on the Guardians here before the Yankees. A couple of big series to open up, and I know there's promos tonight and tomorrow. So I would imagine if you want to get that Cal Raleigh bobblehead and replica, I believe, banner, that is the replica banner tonight, I believe, you probably want to get into those gates a little early because those promos go pretty quickly. But we got more details for you about the Polish Spring Bazaar and other things going on this weekend at mynorthwest.com. I do like to put my little disclaimer for this week, though. Remember that No Kings protest is going to be going on in the city tomorrow, so that will impact getting around where you're going to go. So make sure you plan ahead for that. That's starting at Cal Anderson Park at noon.
All right, Sully, I don't see a Linda Carter, but I do see a Debbie Gibson and Tiffany and Morgan Fairchild.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, my girlfriend, Morgan Fairchild. Right. Well, both and I, you went right to John Lovitz.
Yeah,
well done.
that's right.
Yeah.
That's a ticket.
Oh, my goodness.
You guys didn't miss a beat on that one.
Was
You guys
impressive.
were locked in.
Oh, my goodness. All right, Paul, thank you very much.
Of
Have a
course.
great weekend.
It's 6:53 or 8:53.
Wow, I don't want to do those 2 hours again.
Yeah, well, I'd like to, but we can't. We need to check traffic instead.
By the way, the biggest event of the weekend we all know is 10 o'clock tomorrow in South Bellevue. Where the 2 line opens up for the Sound Transit Light Rail across the lake, baby. I know there are going to be thousands and thousands of people.
I hope people.
Sully's going to be tailgating over there.
No, you better. I'm getting there tonight. Going to get my spot. No, but that event is tomorrow. And again, don't forget, you can make it into downtown from Redmond and Bellevue starting at 10 a.m. Via light rail. So that all starts tomorrow morning. Big deal there for our region. As for the roads now, not blocking, but causing an issue and something you need to be aware of. If you're heading into like the Snoqualmie area on westbound I-90 at Highway 18, we've got a jackknife semi and a truck carrying a trailer as well. 2 right lanes are blocked. Non-injury, but it's there. Quite a distraction. Rest of the map looks good. We're looking at 44 to 45 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. Brake lights right where they should be. Federal Way to Seattle Seattle's under 40, Puyallup to Renton. Renton to Bellevue's at about 20. Lake bridges are still fine. Olympia to Tacoma and most of Pierce County is just in great shape. So we made it through Friday. And yes, I could say for the first time in 3 weeks, we didn't hit the $15 max during our morning show coming down out of the Linwood area. This report brought to you by Heritage Homecraft, which will transform your kitchen in about a week. Way less mess, time, and expense than a tear-out. Call today, and Heritage Homecraft will pay your sales tax. 425-485-1600.
Well, it's a beautiful Friday morning, and the sun is going to stick with us throughout the day. 56 the high for today. Tomorrow looks pretty much the same. We might see a few more clouds roll in, and then Sunday things will be different. Mostly cloudy, some rain moving in by afternoon at 51. It's 38 in Seattle right now.
Well, coming up 9 to noon, we have Spike O'Neill and Angelo Poe Russell filling in for G and Ursula hosting the show today. Going to be fun, so stay tuned for that.
This is Seattle's Morning News. Hope you have a great weekend. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio.
Local news from local voices you trust.
Flights out of Joint Base Lewis McChord.
KIRO Newsradio.
Questions about whether the Pentagon is deploying special forces to the Middle East.
The news you depend on.
Gas prices up 25 cents in the last week.
Conversation.
Then all of a sudden, Trump comes out, hey, we're having productive talks.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM. Streaming everywhere on the KIRO Newsradio app.
So how's your business navigating so far this year? Have you thought about your finances and how they should change? Well, my friends at WaFd Bank can help. Right, Brad?
Right, Dave. Set your financial goals and stick to them with free checking. No minimum balances or monthly maintenance fees to worry about. You also get spending tools to help you stay on top of your budget. Not only is WaFd Bank a best bank, we have more than 200 branches to serve you across 9 western states.
And tell us about this voice-activated banking I've been hearing about.
You can check your balance and make transfers between your WaFd accounts when your hands are full. You'll also have access to free tools like person-to-person payments with Zelle, mobile check deposit, intuitive new debit card management tools to turn your card on and off, set spending notifications, and when those unfortunate times happen, submit fraud disputes right inside the WaFd mobile app.
What I really like, too, is that you can choose from some great-looking debit cards to spend in style, including Seattle Kraken and Seattle Seawolves cards. So visit WaFdBank.com to open your account today. Non-sufficient funds charges may apply. Member FDIC.
The NBA takes its biggest step yet to bringing the Sonics back to Seattle.
The NBA Board of Governors has officially greenlit a deeper look at expansion to Seattle.
KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey has been following this.
Amanda, what a huge story for the city.
Speculation is that it's going to be 28-29 that season.
Stay plugged into the very latest at mynorthwest.com.
I'm super excited for the jobs, the restaurants.
And KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
We are on a magic carpet ride!
Jen, I didn't know you shopped here.
Hey, I'm hunting for something fresh for spring.
Oh, girl, skip them all. Jewelry Television has the best spring looks right now.
JTV, way ahead of you. Just hit up JTV.com yesterday, scored the cutest clover earrings, 2 tennis bracelets, and this gorgeous pearl ring.
Right now, new customers get $20 off any purchase of $99 or more at JTV.com.
Oh, and gold hoops and this turquoise bracelet.
Just a couple things, huh?
Maybe more than a couple.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/protect. That's ethos.com/protect. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Download the KIRO News Radio app, where you can watch us live or stream us live anywhere, anytime.
How would this initiative, whatever this initiative is, how would he fund it?
Stay connected everywhere. Download the KIRO News Radio app.
Hi, Sarah here with Safeway. We're proud to partner with Champions of Change co-founder Doug Baldwin to help nourish Washington students through the Nourishing Champions program.
Thanks, Sarah. And here's the reality. Every day, students across our state are staying after school for extracurriculars on empty stomachs, and some of them don't know where their next meal will come from. Food insecurity is reaching crisis levels, and the impact on our youth will extend far beyond this moment. The good news is that there's an answer in the federally funded after-school meals programs. But right now, Washington schools' participation is very low, reaching only 2% of the students who qualify.
That's where Nourishing Champions comes in. We're offering grants that not only fund food, but also resource and training support for the schools to offer an after-school meal program for years to come.
Our goal is to reach 10,000 more students in the first year of these grants and then grow from there. School staff can learn more and apply today at championsofchangefoundation.org.